It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show, featuring the greatest receiver in the history of college football. Just ask them, Lamar Thomas.
I was born in Ocala, Florida. I moved to Gainesville to go to high school, being recruited probably since the 9th grade, illegally, I might add, by the University of Florida. I still can remember Coach Solinger, Don Solinger, coming out to our practice one day. Here it is, this guy comes out in the University of Miami jacket, and I said, I can't believe that's Miami out here. And, you know, I wanted to go up and say, hey, I'm Lamar Thomas. And actually, I did walk up to him and I said, hey, Coach, I'm Lamar Thomas. And he said, I know. And that was the start of my relationships with the University of Miami.
Patton, another good block, and Toretto lays it out. Touchdown, Miami.
You come down here, you'll be on TV every weekend, dominating. I thought about it. I said, man, where do I sign? My mom, on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and she'd be holding my hand. I thought she was the weirdest lady in the world. But she was holding my hands and she would be rubbing them and saying, one day these hands are gonna make you a lot of money. She was smart.
So now, here he is, the great one, along with co-host Gary Ferman of CaneSport.com, Lamar Thomas.
It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show. He's back, the great one, here to talk about the winning Miami Hurricanes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lamar Thomas Show. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined, of course, by the man himself, LT. And LT, they're winning, man. They're winning.
Gary, you see this smile on my face? I mean, come on, man. We're winning. We won 2 games in a row against top opponents. Hold on, I got to give let the cook hold one of my 2 national championships. Right here, you go, bro. There it is, right there. But hey, man, we winning, man. How about that, man? This is the word it hadn't felt this great in a long time. And kudos to those kids and the staff. That's about as far as I'm gonna go. I can't go any higher than that. But kudos to all those people in the building that was able to pull this out and go up to Pitt and get a great victory against a really, really good team with a great quarterback who probably will be a first rounder. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, you know, Lamar, you've been saying it all season. You've been putting up a caution flag to everybody. They didn't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. Be careful about going in too deep in the criticisms of Manny and things like that, because the truth of the matter is all of these ACC games are like flipping a coin. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, we'll get into all kinds of topics tonight. What should the big picture be at Miami? What, you know, and all those type of things. But the bottom line is all of these games are coin flip games, and you're not going to lose every one of them more than likely. No. And, you know, they lost 2 ACC games. Now they've won 2. And, you know, we'll see what happens to the last.
But Gary, those 2, I mean, it was a coin flip at the end. I mean, here it is. This quarterback, TBD, has come miles from those 2 losses. I think he's learned. I'm hoping he's learned. And they were able to pull out 2 games against 2 really, really good opponents. Now, let's go back. Those 2 opponents they lost to in the last seconds, you know, obviously Virginia and North Carolina. When we looked at the schedule, before the season started, obviously we had North Carolina scheduled because of how we thought they were going to be a ranked team. We didn't know North Carolina State would be as good as they are, and we definitely didn't. I didn't. Well, I think we kind of thought Pitt would be okay. Pickett comes back. He's had a great. He's having a great season, but those 2 losses, and the teams weren't that good. It kind of gave everybody a sour taste in their mouth. And then they go back, they regroup somehow, some way. Manny and his staff and those kids, they regroup, and they're able to pull out 2 big victories and one on the road, which was very impressive. It's like, what are those people saying now? Like, are those same people saying we need to fire Manny, or are they saying we need to fire Blake, or what's going on, Gary? Because you know what? Hey, if Manny wins out, okay, if Manny wins out, do you still fire him? I don't think so.
I don't think they will.
I don't think you should.
Yeah.
He's obviously shown that he can take a team and get them. Obviously, they had some problems in the beginning of the season, but if he's able to win out, and it's a weak schedule, you got Florida State, which is definitely weak. You got Duke, you got Virginia Tech, you got Georgia Tech. So you got these 4 teams. You can easily win out. And I hate to jump so far ahead, Gary, but if things happen, you could even be playing in the – should I say it, Gary? Or should I not say it?
They could be playing in the Orange Bowl.
Well,
they could be playing – how about this one? They could be playing the Florida Gators in the Gator Bowl.
Well, I was even saying before that you could somehow look up and go to the ACC championship. I don't know.
Not out of the question at all.
I mean, not out of the question. So, with that being said, I'm just excited that these guys have turned it around. The offense has started looking good. I think from what I've seen, Brett Lashley is looking more comfortable calling plays. He's probably the mesh, the relationship between quarterback, offensive coordinator has blossomed. The kids believe in this quarterback. The receivers are playing great, and we're throwing it to the tight ends. Defense is, you're playing against a really, really good quarterback last week.
They're just hanging in there. Yeah,
they're hanging in there, but they're making plays when they have to. Now, it could be luck because that guy that was running straight down the middle of the field, Pickett, chose the wrong guy.
Yep.
And Williams got the interception, but I mean, that's just the way it's going, man. I'm just really excited to be able to wear this Hurricane stuff with pride because for a long time, from the FIU game, we have been getting killed, man. We have been getting killed. So kudos to, again, Manny and his staff, but most importantly, those kids for believing.
All right, let's take care of a little business real fast. The show tonight is sponsored by All Canes, a Canes fan tradition since 1959. The banner at the bottom says shop at allcanes.com. Spoke to Harry before the show. They're having some technical issues with allcanes.com. He's hoping to get it fixed relatively soon, but if you want to order something before they do get it fixed at allcanes.com, you could feel free to just call the store, 305-661-9011, 305-661-9011. That's All Canes. Show tonight is also
how about you just go down there?
Or
how about
if you're
that?
local, if you're local, just go there. Just go down there. And it's homecoming weekend. I might as well tell you that now.
Yeah.
And they're open Friday from 10 to 6, Saturday from 8:30 to 5, and Sunday from 11 to 4. So if you're an alumnus who's in town for homecoming, you could pop out to the store yourself.
It's great to go in there now. It's great to go in there. I think I bought this from there a while ago. Harry does it real big. So go on down there now. Enjoy yourself. Go on down there. You got time. Homecoming. They got a parade and stuff. Stop on in at all.
They still burn the boat, Lamar. You remember when they used to burn the boat when you were in school?
Well, I heard about it. I never got a chance to experience because we were in the hotel.
But burn the boat out on the lake.
Yeah. I've never attended any homecoming festivities. I got to go back. I got to figure this out. I got to be a student. Well, I was a student, but I got to be a fan. I'm going to go back down there, and maybe one day I'll be like the what do they call that? The guy that runs the parade thing. think
The
Michael
Ibis?
Irvin didn't want to. No.
Oh, the Grand Marshal. The Grand
Yeah,
Marshal.
I want to be the Grand Marshal. There you go.
I don't
Grand
think they
Marshal
do
of
the parade anymore, Lamar.
They don't?
I think they got rid of the parade. They still do the boat burning. I'll be honest with you. I don't know anybody that goes to the homecoming festivities ever. Like, I don't remember anybody ever telling me they went. And I said that. I was talking to Harry today at All Canes, and I'm like, Harry, does anybody go to these homecoming festivities? And he insists they do.
Hey, look, I remember a bunch of drunk students and my roommate.
Well, they go. Yeah, they're
Sunday
on campus.
talking about about that, but I never got a chance to experience it. But I'm sure that boat burning has been around for a long time, and it has to be a must see. I'm sad about the parade though. I wanted to be a Grand Marshal in that thing. Dang.
I think I saw 2 boat burnings in my 4 years at Miami.
Wow.
I think I remember seeing 2 of them. But anyway, tonight's show is also sponsored by Boat Campers in Plantation, where Lamar is sitting right now. And LT, what did they bring you to eat tonight? Anything yet?
Well, since my daddy, I have to give my daddy a shout out. He said I can't eat on the screen, so he said it was very Dad, I think he's hungry at night. He said it was distracting. So I had my wings, the Boat Campers signature wings, and some fries. Come on down here. You got 1,000 locations, Boat Campers. You got one on the beach. You got one in Miramar. You got one over here in Plantation, and about 13 more. So come on down here. Very festive activity. Last week there was a party going on, so I want to excuse the party goers because they were obviously the people on the air saying they couldn't hear me, but we moved to a different booth, so just in case there's a party going on again down here, they can hear me.
The sounds great tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will be complaining tonight.
No.
My wife just dumped off some chocolate chip cookies.
Oh man!
Will your dad get mad at me if I eat a cookie or two tonight?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. He can't talk to you. He don't know you like that. He don't know you like that. You can do what you want.
All right.
He still might beat me.
And of course, another sponsor tonight is Advanced Insurance and Financial. That's Ryan Collins' company.
That's right. Are we doing Ryan Collins already, my guy?
No, I'm just throwing him up there.
You're just throwing it up? Okay, get love. And I'll do the little reading a little later. But yeah, Advanced Insurance. Actually, I played golf today with, I didn't play. I watched Warren Sapp and Ryan Collins play today. Let's say I would have won a lot of money if I would have played. But I'll tell you, that Warren Sapp, man, he is a freak.
He can play golf,
huh? He can play golf.
Yeah.
The guy was hitting drives down the middle. He did this little step back. I mean, but you got to think about this, Gary. The guy plays golf with Michael Jordan.
Does he really?
Yeah, so nothing's going to faze him. You talking about betting a couple of dollars. That's not going to faze him because he plays golf with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan doesn't play for little money.
The stakes are high.
He goes to Michael's private course up there.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm waiting on my invite. I don't even know how I would act, but he goes up there. He comes back with the tees. I think I stole one of the tees today from Jordan's course, but he has the Jordan shoes because remember he was one of Jordan's first athletes,
right?
On his signature, so he plays golf with Michael Jordan. But the fact is, those two guys they beat up on two guys today, and I watched them. I said, "You guys hammed and egged them to death." So kudos to you. Hey, we winning all around. UM is winning all around. How about that?
Can you imagine being able to own your own golf course? I mean, how amazingly cool is that? You own your own golf course, and nobody can play it unless
unless you say they can play. I mean, I couldn't even imagine that. I would have all my friends, and we just play. We'll play a tinsome. It'd be balls flying everywhere.
So what course were they at today, Lamar? Where'd they play?
We were at Jacaranda.
Oh, okay.
And went out there, obviously, after Daddy Daycare Transportation Service was offline. I went out there and I watched those guys play golf. Spent about 2 hours in the fresh sun. It was great weather. I just was relaxed. And they kept saying, "Hey, man, you want to play?" "Nah, I'm good, bro." I'm just enjoying this air until I get back in the car and those kids start throwing stuff at me again. So we're good. Hey, Gary, how was your Pittsburgh trip, man?
Oh, man.
How was it?
It was raining. I was supposed to play golf in Pittsburgh. I got rained out on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was annoying as heck. There's a golf course up in Beaver Falls where I think Jim Kelly grew up. That is just absolutely amazing, Lamar. It's like walking onto Augusta National, and I always look forward to playing it when I go up to Pittsburgh. And I didn't get a chance to play, so I ended up spending my spare time when I wasn't working at the games and stuff. They have a sports book right next to the stadium. Oh, absolutely amazing! And hung out there with a bunch of Canes fans all weekend. It was fun. We had a good time.
Had a good time.
There weren't many Canes fans in Pittsburgh though, Lamar. And it's they canceled the Golden Cane trip. It was supposed to be this weekend.
Right.
I would say there were 100 Miami fans at that game. Normally,
Gary, let's talk about that, Gary. Let's talk about this week. Homecoming. Okay. Yeah. We won 2 games in a row against ranked opponents. 12 o'clock game, 12:30 game.
12:30.
Come on, fans. Let's come on out. Come on. Let's go. I mean, hey, you can say what you want, but you still got to support the kids. You got to support. You might not like Manny. Okay, so what? Come on out. Enjoy. Have a good time. Bring the family out. Let's get some people in those stands, and let's try to keep this thing going, because you know what? The bottom line is, if you're a UM fan, you hate to lose. And so with that being said, you want to come out and give the best, give those guys a great opportunity to get a win. And that's important.
No doubt. I wanted to talk about these 4 games.
Okay.
Because I think it's kind of interesting how all these games in the ACC are coming down to one play here, one play there. Mm-hmm. You're playing Virginia, and Rhett Lashley this week, Lamar, admitted that he was too conservative in calling that game. It was Tyler Van Dyke's first real game.
Why wouldn't you be?
Why wouldn't you be? Connecticut nonsense. Yeah, I mean, you were there. You were in the game planning room for many years, and he's sitting there thinking, I've got a quarterback who is not really ready. Mm-hmm. He is starting a Power 5 game for the first time, and he was conservative, and he admitted it. And I'm sure now he's beating himself up a little bit, thinking he was too conservative. Okay, fine, but still, it comes down to the end, and the kick hits the left upright. Okay, game of inches, right? Mm-hmm. Then you go in North Carolina, and you're driving late in the game, and the pass gets tipped at the line of scrimmage and gets intercepted. One play, okay?
One play.
You lose both those games. Okay, then you get into now the NC State game and the Pittsburgh game, also very close, games that could go either way. NC State had a chance to drive the field and win the game, and you made a play on defense, and they maybe weren't performing at their best, quite frankly, and you squeeze out a victory there. And then, Lamar, this game on Saturday, I mean, I think that there's 2 things that popped into my head. How about the safety, the almost safety? I mean, Jalen Knighton, LT, gets out of the end zone.
Yeah, how about
by,
that?
What, a couple inches?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay. So if that ends up being a safety, and now you're punting the ball back to Kenny Pickett, I don't know that Miami wins that game. All he needs is, a field goal to win the game at that point? Yeah. They're down 2, and he needs a field goal to win late. I don't know if they win that game, Lamar. And then the other play that comes to mind, Will Mallory catches that big pass at the end of the game. Yeah. And the ball gets knocked out, and it's just rolling around out there on the field, and it just gets out of bounds, number 1. I mean, what if somebody jumps on it? And then number 2, it's just past the first down marker, and they get the first down, and they run out the clock and win the game. But my point is, these are razor-thin margins, winning and losing on both sides. And
bunch of ifs.
It's amazing.
Bunch of ifs. If grandma had something else, she'd be granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? It would be. It's just the season. Those you talk about those 4 games, the 2 losses and the 2 wins. How easily they could have been 4 wins. How easily it could have been 4 losses. I mean, but the fact is, those kids didn't quit on their coach, their staff. You know, I'm reading here, Alf Landon says fire Manny. I mean, what if he wins the next 4 games, you still want to fire him, Alf? I mean, I'm just saying. You don't have any legs to stand on if the guy wins the next 4 games.
Well, LT, I got a guy here who's in the lobby who we're going to bring on right now, who knows a little bit about these close games in the ACC. He's experienced them himself. Now he's unfortunately seeing them unfold from the sideline, and that's De'Ara King. And De'Ara, welcome to the Lamar Thomas Show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
How you doing, Mr. King? How you doing, Mr. King?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good.
Had a great chance to talk to you during the Paradise Camp. I enjoyed our conversation. You know, I want to ask you, the first question I want to ask you, and I've always wanted to ask you, now I should have asked you that day, why Miami after leaving Houston?
Yeah, I had a bunch of schools after me when I left Houston, but I thought, you know, I wanted to go somewhere where I could make a difference, right? So it was a couple of schools I was really interested in, and Miami is one of them. So when I officially entered the portal, you know, Coach Diaz was like one of the first questions to hit me up, and you know, I didn't want to. Nothing mattered to me besides ball, right? So I didn't care what city it was in, you know, if it was conference, this and that. So like for me, looking at the 2019 season, they have 4 losses. They lost to FIU, Duke, Georgia Tech, and La Tech, right? And a lot of those games was decided by field goals or here and there, or they might have lost the game for this reason. And you know, I was just looking forward to play with a really good defense. I thought Coach Diaz was like a really good defense coordinator, defensive coach, and I wanted to go to Miami. I can make a difference right away.
So you decided to come here, and actually, you come here and you know you played a year, but you started recruiting other guys, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that go? Like, I mean, how do you get on the phone with the guy and say, "Hey, man, I heard you talking about leaving, man. You want to come play alongside me?" I mean, is that what was going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, college football, I think all the really, you know, the good players, we all know each other, right? So, you know, for example, like Quincy Roche, I played against him while I was in Houston. He was a really good player at Temple when I played against him, so I knew of him. Jared Williams was a really good offensive tackle for me in Houston. I think everything just fell in place. And I was talking to him, telling him why the reason I was coming and what I wanted to do at Miami. They all just, you know, kind of came along.
You know, it sounds like, and just from being around the program while you've been there, you're such a great leader that you have this it factor where you like the Pied Piper. You can get guys to come along, you just blow your horn and they come out here and want to be your teammate. You know, has it always been that way? How did you develop that whole thing of being that guy? And to even talk about it, go further, I recruited a guy named Lamar Jackson, and he was that same type of guy where the teammates, they all wanted to be his teammate. How did you develop that? When did you know that you had that it factor?
I think, you know, at a young age, like growing up a coach's kid, I've been around football, I've been around locker room my whole life. My dad was a high school coach for my whole life, so just being a kid around that, and you know, him raising me and just telling me like it's bigger than ball, right? So like my biggest thing is, you know, I want to come to a team where I want to know about your family, I want to know about, you know, your brother, sister, your mom, dad, how you grew up, and I think this makes, you know, all good leaders, you know, good leaders. I think because the more you know about your teammates, the better relationship you guys have. That's why I'm big on relationships.
LT, you guys always had leaders, obviously, on your teams all through the years. But I'll tell you something. I mean, I have rarely seen, and I've been around Miami football, as you know, for 4 decades now, and I've rarely seen a kid come into this program and just put the whole dang thing on his back the way De'Ara King has the last 2 years. And it started the minute that he signed, and he just reinvigorated the whole program, LT. I mean, they were coming off some down times, and last year, I felt that De'Ara King made the difference between 5 wins and 8 wins. And I'm not saying this, De'Ara, just because you're on the show with us. I mean, I felt that he was the difference, a 3-game difference.
At least 3, yeah.
At least 3. Just his presence on the roster. the plays he made. I think back to the NC State game, Derek, the career performance that you put out there, the Virginia Tech game last year. You took this entire program that was struggling big time, and in my opinion, you saved it from a disaster last year in putting all those wins up. And then, now you're coming into this year, and I could only imagine what you're thinking going into this year. This is my year. This is my team. And my God, man, it's like, and I want you to talk about it. It's like from second one up there in Atlanta against Alabama, just nothing went according to script at all. And so just give us a little summation about, your viewpoint on all of that.
Yeah, I mean, every time I think about it, I get emotional, man, just because, this, obviously not what I wanted to happen. But, like you said, we had really big plans coming back. Everybody came back to this team. I thought we had a really good winter, really good spring, really good summer. Everybody was locked in. Nobody was veering off from what we need to do. And then, you play Alabama week one of the best teams in the country, best head coach of all time. And, we fully expected to win that game. Like, we thought we had a good game plan, good practice, good get to win it. But, you go in there, you don't, right? We shit the bed on offense. Excuse my language, but we don't play good on offense. We don't play good on defense. We don't play good on special teams. And that game was just kind of, like a weird feeling. Like we planned to go in there, be aggressive, shoot, take our shot, have nothing to lose. But we lose that game, and we come back, play a good App State team that we felt like that we should have handled, and we win by 2 points. But we get our first win of the season. Now we're expecting to roll, expecting to keep going, play. At the time, a Michigan State team that, I think we were the favorites to win that game, right? A Michigan State team that was, they had a really good running back, a solid defense, and a decent quarterback. And we go in that game, and I think deep down inside, I know if I didn't, separate my shoulder, tear my AC joint on the first drive of the third quarter, I think the game was totally different. After I separate, and honestly, like for me, like people can say what they want to say about, the program, the coaches, and all that, but at the end of the day, I think the first couple of games come down to we wasn't playing good as players, right? I think we just wasn't playing good, and I wasn't playing good. It starts with me. A lot of guys that starters and leaders of this team, we just wasn't playing good. We wasn't all there, and I felt like Michigan State game was gonna be the game that we picked it up, right? Everything started clicking. We started rolling, started winning like we're supposed to do. But for me, from my performance, I can say. A turnover in the first possession of the game while we moved the ball on the field, that was rough. And then separating my shoulder the first drive in the second half, and just trying to play through that. I probably should have just set out, got healthy, but I tried to come back and fight through it. And I think it ended up making it worse. But now we're here. So.
All right, so let's go back to Alabama.
Yeah.
All right, you played obviously a few years against Houston. Yeah. At Houston. Then you come to Miami. You went through the entire season last year. I'm guessing that you're going to tell us right now you've never seen anything like what you saw with Alabama that night.
Yeah, I mean, they have a really good team. They have a really good front seven, honestly. But I think a lot of us would tell you that they're playing that game. I think we could have. Obviously, we have to play our best game, right? But I think we could have hang with them. We just went out there and we didn't perform. A lot of missed opportunities out there, a lot of missed plays. But yeah, I think Alabama's front seven is one of the best I've played in college football.
And also you're getting crushed. I mean, you're coming off an injury, and you got to fight through that. I mean, let's be honest, that's not easy.
No.
You got to fight through that, and you're getting crushed out there. What's going through your head?
Yeah, so obviously I wanted to play that game, so I kind of rushed my knee coming back. But I felt right. I felt healthy. I was doing camp. So I would practice 2 days, and the third day we kind of I do individual 7-on-7 routes on air, but I went with really good team reps because they wanted my knee to get healthy. And a lot of people, I don't think anybody know this, but Alabama game when I got strip sacked, I got blindsided. I re-injured my knee. I tore another ligament in the back of my knee. I don't think anybody knew about that. And, I came back after we flew back to Miami that day. And then, that next Sunday, I got an MRI and X-ray and all that. and it wasn't my ACL, which is, thank God, it was a small ligament that I could play through. So I played through App State game with not a lot of practice that week, as far as me running the ball and just getting team rep, because I was trying to get healthy for the game. And so I just had to play through it, try to go out there and win some games.
I want to ask you this: what do you think while you were playing? What was your strength? What was your main strength that when you sit back and you think of your time at the University of Miami? What was your main strength and what you brought to the table?
Yeah, as far as football, I think I was like extending plays, running around back there. But I think my main strength that I brought to this team was leadership. I know it sounded like cliche, but I think it's truly that's what I brought to the team. And I'm a very confident guy. I'm a quiet confidence, but I'm super confident. And I don't go any game thinking we're gonna lose. I make sure my team feel the same way, that we can be anybody. So I think confidence and leadership.
Let's talk about TVD.
Yeah.
He's got nicknames already, Derek. They're calling him Tyler Van Dynamite, Tyler Van Dimes. I know you've played a role in what he's been doing the last few weeks. Talk a little bit about what you're seeing from TVD and just the way he's sort of like blossomed the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's playing really good. I think his first couple games, it was a confidence thing. I was not winning every single day watching tape practice. But he works extremely hard, and he's one of the hard workers on our team since he got here. So especially, this spring when I wasn't playing, he kind of stepped up, became really good. He had a really good spring, had a really good camp. So I think it was best for him to be playing how he's playing. He deserves it.
Watching practice, there really wasn't a discernible difference really in the throws and stuff that were being made. And even when you were out there and Jake and TVD and you were out there throwing balls in practice, all three of you are looking more than confident, and you're seeing that the quarterback position at Miami is moving into a decent place. But I said this last night on a show we have, I think that if there's maybe 150 people in the Miami football program, when you factor in coaches and trainers and everybody, I think if you took a poll in early September of who is going to succeed De'Ara King at quarterback at the University of Miami, I think there would have been a pretty sizable majority that would have said Jake Garcia. And here's why. Because Tyler's quiet. He just does his thing.
Yeah.
You don't ever see anything demonstrative out of him at that point in time.
Yeah.
And Jake is Mr. Flamboyant. He's, you see his leadership, you see how he bonds with his teammates, the energy he brings, and all those things. And I think almost everybody out there, if they did an anonymous vote where nobody had to declare their vote, it was like written on a piece of paper, silent, I think almost everybody out there would have said Jake Garcia. Well, so now Tyler kind of works his way into this. And from what I understand, talking to people, this is a whole different beast that we're dealing with now. He's confident. He's got voted a team captain after you got injured. He's taken that role. He's talking to guys on defense. He's making predictions, Derek, that the team's going to score 70 points against NC State. This is a kid that has totally come out of his shell on steroids. Let's be honest. He's out of control. Talk about that from your viewpoint.
Yeah, he was always like that with us, right? He just didn't show it to other people. As far as quarterbacks, not even the whole team. He's a confident dude. You know what I mean? And I think, like you said, I think social media plays a lot into people thinking, one player is going to be better than this player and this and that. And Tyler, the whole time, Tyler just put his head down and just kept working. Like I said, he's one of the hard workers I ever been teammates with, and I like to see him. I'm glad he's coming out of the show now, right? I'm glad he's talking his talk. You know what I'm saying, and doing what he got to do. I'm happy for him.
I got to ask you this, man, and this is a tough question right here, because I've always wondered. I've known a lot of pretty decent quarterbacks.
Yeah.
when the offensive lineman miss blocks, or when the receiver runs the wrong route, or the running back misses a block.
Yeah.
How hard is it for you guys to not say, raise your hands like we do?
Yeah.
You know how we do. You know, receivers, we do that whole thing. We'll show you up. We're like, hey, man, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
How hard is it to not do that? Because as we well saw, you were running around a couple games for your life. And, offensive line not playing well, receivers doing their thing and tight ends. How hard is it for you mentally? Because obviously, as a leader, you're trying to do the right thing but inside you got to be saying, come on, man, God dang. But how hard is that, man? I just want to know this.
Man, I think it's pretty hard. You know what I mean? I think like during the game when stuff like that happens, like you don't really know why it's happening. Like, you don't know, oh, this guy missed a block or this guy, you know what I mean? But when you come back on that Sunday and watch that tape, and you're like, okay, well, this is why I got killed right here, or this why this wasn't open. It's kind of, you got to go up to guys and have that conversation like, yo, I need you to come on because like get killed. But you got to do it in the right way, right? You can't go out there, you can't be an asshole about it. Feel me? You can't go out there and just cuss everybody out, do this, do that. You got to do it in the right way. And I think that's what I did my whole career. So I try to do it in the right way.
And that's what true leaders do, man. You look at some of those guys who've been really successful, and that's how they carry themselves. They don't really embarrass anybody.
Yeah.
And that's very important. I saw that from you from when you got here. I was very impressed with that because I'm always looking at the quarterback-receiver relationship.
Yeah.
And I want to see how it goes. And, again, when you recruit kids, you watch them in high school. I watch them in high school, and I say, how does his teammates relate to him? How does he relate to his teammates? And it's big for me. I don't want a quarterback that's out there pointing blame and saying, hey, it's your fault. I want a guy that's saying, even though it ain't his fault, saying, my bad, we're going to get better. That's important to me on the sideline when I'm standing down there, as a recruiter. And you've seen a lot of you at your high school games. There are a lot of guys that were standing near with their hands crossed. They're watching you guys on the sideline. I mean, to me, that's very impressive.
Yeah, and I think my dad always told me, like growing up, like playing quarterback my whole life, is when everything's going good, you get all the glory. When it's going bad, you get all the blame. So I just kind of, by nature, I take it. When we lose a game and everybody, Derek, I just know how to take it. Right, I rather put it on me than other guys. I know I can handle it.
So, hey, De'Aaron, what was your plan for De'Aaron King for this year? I assume it was to have a phenomenal season, convince the NFL I deserve a shot to play in the league. And you, I'm sure, had this whole plan in place as we began the month of September. What are your days like now? Like, what are you doing now to stay busy? I'm sure you're working with Tyler quite a bit. What are your days like now?
Everything's the same. I still go to meetings every single day. I go to practice every day, and I do my rehab. So it's really the same days as far as football. Obviously, I have a class I got to attend. But other than that, just really trying to get healthy. I get cleared first week in January. Then I'm off and running in the pre-draft stuff. So it's really the same thing as when I was doing before I got injured.
Bro, that should be something said for that. I mean, you could be. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
It's hard.
As a receiver, if I ain't playing, man, I don't know how much I'm in there trying to help the rest of them kids, man. But I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But kudos to you, bro, because you're helping these guys and you're still around. That's some awesome stuff. But that again, it goes to everything you talked about, what you've been groomed to do and what you enjoy doing, and those NFL scouts, they'll know about that. They'll know about that because they're going to do their research.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to know all these positives about you. But, man, you could – because the thing is, I'm pretty sure that when pro scouts come in, they're going to ask, well, was he around after he got hurt? Like, hell yeah, he was around.
Yeah.
Shit, we couldn't get rid of him. It's kudos to you, brother. Kudos to you.
It's definitely hard, just – you go from being a guy, being a starting quarterback, leader of the team, to practicing every day and being with these guys. And now it's definitely hard for me to go out there and watch them do things, like watch them practice, watch them play in the game. But at the end of the day, I think that's what's best for me. And at the same time, after I get done playing ball, I want to get into coaching. So I'm kind of taking this time to learn the ins and outs of that. So I'm trying to prepare myself.
So you're at every practice, every meeting?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. And are you actively involved with Tyler in learning the game plan and reviewing the progressions and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, because last year I played all these teams we're playing now, and I know the ins and outs what they run on defense, how they like to play it. So we just have obviously I'm in the meeting with Coach Lashley. I listen to Coach Lashley, and after practice, me and Tyler sometimes go up there and watch tape. He asks what I think about him, like where should I attack? Just the regular things that we just conversate about. Yeah, so I try to help as much as possible.
And I don't know if you know this, but on Wednesday nights when he's done with you guys, he's getting on a FaceTime call with Malik Rozier. Do you know who Malik is?
Yeah, yes, sir.
He's getting on a FaceTime with Malik Rozier, and he's doing the same damn thing for another hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah. From a whole other viewpoint.
Yes, sir. It's big time.
I mean, that's big time work, Lamar.
Right there.
Hey, I got to ask you this. Okay, here we go. Man, I'm so glad I got you on the show. What do you think about Stephen Field? That's my guy. I coach with him at Hampton University. Has he really lost weight?
He lost some weight for real. Like he lost a bunch of weight. That's my dude. I guess he's been working hard. He look good now. Look skinny a little bit.
Let me tell you about the guy. The guy would tell me. He said, "LT, I just did 10 laps walking." I said, "That's a lie. I saw you do 2." He said, "LT, I'm down 40 pounds." I go, "That's a lie. You look like you're down 10." That's my guy, man. I love that guy, man. He's a very energetic guy. He's a funny dude. He's really funny.
Real funny. I don't know if you lost all that weight or just wear all black every day. All black makes you skinny a little bit. So.
Oh yeah. He will do. Hey, has he hit you with this one? If he's like trying to talk to you and somebody else talk to you and he said, "Nice talking to you." Has he hit you with that one? Yes, that is him. That is him. Yeah. He loves to pull that one on. "Nice talking to you."
Yes, sir.
Hey, bro, I was in the middle of another conversation.
That's my dude right there.
What about, okay, here we go. Let's get on some more codes. Okay, what about DVD? What you think of DVD?
That's my dog. DVD. That's my dog since day one. Since I got here, we had a pretty good relationship. Good coach. He can relate to everybody on the team. So, he's a really good coach.
And T-Rob, you tell T-Rob to stop running from me. After the season over, I'm going to tear his ass up on the golf course. Tell him that I said, I talked to Lamar Thomas, he said stop running from him on the golf course. I know he in the season now, but I'm going to still keep texting him. You tell him I said stop running from him.
I will. You can golf a little bit?
Yeah, man. I'm like about a 40-something handicap, man. You got that NIL money, so you bring that to the golf course, man.
I'm broke.
Huh? Yeah, no, you need to bring some of that NIL money to the golf course. I'll show you what to do with it. You know what I mean?
We can do that.
All right, that sounds good. So you really enjoy the staff. I mean, the guys I've met on that staff, Likens and Lashley and all those guys, seem like really, really good guys. Obviously, it was tough in the beginning, but I'm pretty sure everything is kind of rolling now. How are those guys, man? How are they?
I really enjoy the staff. I've been in my career, I think I had 4 or 5 different head coaches, right? So I've been around a bunch of different staffs, and I've been around staff that's man, I don't want to go in the building today just to be around them. But this staff I really enjoy, going in every single day, building everybody. It's really like a family atmosphere for real. So.
Hey, Derek, have there been times when you're watching what Tyler's doing out there the last few weeks and you're like, wow? Like, I know I've been like that. I mean, he made a couple plays the other day at Pittsburgh, and I'm sitting up there in the press box just going, wow. That rope that he threw on 3rd down with pressure in his face. Yeah. I mean, that was a wow moment. The play where he took off and had a run for the 1st down and have the instincts to do that. And there have been several others, obviously. Do you find yourself saying wow, too, watching them?
Yeah, for sure. Especially, on Sundays, go back in there and really break the tape down. Some of the throws he's making when people in his face and hitting them, knocking them out. It's really impressive. He's played really, really good the last couple of weeks. I think he's going to keep it up, too.
And, we were talking to Coach Lashley this week, and Coach Lashley was saying how the Virginia game, that he was too tight. Like, he called the game too conservative. And he's thinking, I got, Tyler Van Dyke starting. and he hasn't played a Power 5 game before. Yeah. And Lamar and I were talking before, like almost any coach would make the same strategical decision in their minds. But Tyler has shown him that he's capable of doing way more quickly than probably anybody ever imagined.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like you said, I mean, it's first start, right? First start playing a Power 5 team, first conference game. I think, they were trying to get him going, run the ball a little bit, get some easy access throws. But, now he showed everybody what he could do. So I think now the playbook is wide open, which it should be.
All right, here's another question for you. Rambo.
Yeah.
Rambo was on here last week.
Yeah.
He said, man, you called him up and was like, yo, bro, what's up? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that conversation. I mean, back in the day, we didn't do that. But this is the new day and age. Y'all just called up friends and say, hey, come play with me. Come on, man. Let's do it. How did that conversation go, man?
Yeah, I mean, I had got worried that he was thinking about transferring. So I kind of knew about him already. He played at Cedar Hill. I played at Melville, two really good high schools in Texas. And I played against him in 2019. So our first game in Houston versus Oklahoma, first game of the year, and he killed us. He took a slant 60, caught a fade ball, and I knew about Rambo already. So when I got worried that he was thinking about entering the portal, and then we actually did, I was on him. I was texting him every day, calling him every day, telling him he could be a big difference here, which he's showing that he is now. I knew what kind of player he was, so I'm excited. I'm glad that he's here right now.
And he's been balling, man. He's been playing really great, huh?
It's some Texas boys. It's a different breed out there. I tell y'all, it's different.
Oh, really? All right. So let's go there, Derek. Since you opened that can of worms. All right. You've played with Texas boys. You've played with Florida guys.
Yeah.
Florida is totally, is convinced here that this is where it begins and ends for young football players coming up. Texas has obviously always been considered number 2 or number 3 with California. What do you think?
Number 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's Texas, Florida, Cali, then Georgia. Texas is first by far.
Why?
It's a different breed. Like you go to Texas. First of all, we do everything that colleges do in high school, right? Now I will say this. I respect Florida athletes. They have really good athletes. They blossom later on, right? Which is good. They're Texas and Florida always got the most guys in the NFL. But I think it's nothing like Texas high school football. And if you ask any coach that coach in Miami that recruits Texas or coach in Texas, they'll tell you. But they told us it's nothing like Texas high school football as far as team, O-line, D-line, coaches, scheme, scouting report. I hear they go out there, and honestly, I've been looking at Florida high school football or just keeping up with it a little bit since I moved out here. And every game I see is 21-17, 14-7. Like nobody scored points out here. They got a few good quarterbacks, you know what I mean? O-line is kind of scarce a little bit. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, but Texas O-line, D-line, trenches, and quarterbacks, linebackers, it's a different breed than any other state in America.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, first of all, your coaches are getting paid out there. So they can take it a little bit more serious than our coaches. The dude just getting off work from being a bounce at the club or something. You got real coaches out there who actually are getting paid. I can understand that. Now, but as far as yes, we do have really good athletes, but I got to tell you, you guys really get coached a lot better. I think the state takes it a lot more serious than our. Not saying our coaches in Florida don't take it serious. They're doing the best they can with what they have, and they have a lot. But when you're only getting a stipend, how hard you gonna really put into that? You got guys in Texas who are really getting paid. They're gonna put something into that. They're gonna teach you guys on a 24-hour basis.
Yeah, every head coach out there making 6 figures at least. And
wow.
During school period, like a fifth period, a whole hour and a half is whatever sport you play, football, basketball, track. It's based on your sport. So we have a period in the middle of class. It's all football, and that period is when we lift. You know what I mean? And our coaches not history teachers. Like our head coach is just a head coach. They don't got to coach, science side. They go out there and coach football. That's what they do. So they're different.
And they make six figures?
Yeah. My
Wow.
head coach made.
So are you thinking when you're done playing football, I'm going back to Texas and coaching?
You ain't coming to Florida.
I want to coach college. So
hey, you gotta start off. Start low, build it up. But hey, if you go to Texas and make six figures, I mean, we might not never see you in college. I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to coach college though. I want to get to that point.
So have you gone to you've gone to any high school games down here?
I haven't. So like last year, we most of we at the hotel. We at the hotel on Friday.
Right.
Thing. This year, I really haven't been able to go any yet. I wanted to go to the last week. I think Northwestern played something. They got
Central.
Northwestern got killed. I wanted to go to that game.
Yeah.
But I'm not going.
Well, it's not like obviously, as you well know, the Texas games, which are packed to capacity.
Can't compare that.
No, but they still get it on a little bit. But it's really no comparison. I went to when I coached in the Alliance of American Football League. We had to spend a month in San Antonio, and the high school stadium we practiced in, I was blown away. Like, this is a high school stadium?
Yeah. Like I think we had a scrimmage at a stadium. They call it the Mecca. What's the best stadium out here in Miami? They call
Mecca, the Trash Pile.
Yeah,
Trash Pile. Yeah.
Like this the Mecca, all the big games.
Yeah.
The practice field to us. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's like if we play that Trash Pile in Texas, we have to add 20,000 more bleachers in there.
Wow.
To everybody. Every big game, like honestly, no cap, like in playoffs, all big games. It'd be 40,000, 50,000 at the game. You got to move to NRG.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's a different breed.
My roommate was from Houston, Texas. He went to Madison, and so when he came down, Charles Farm, when he came down, we went to high school games, and he looked very uninterested. And now I understand why.
Yeah. So I live in a small town right outside of Houston. It's Houston, but it's called Melville. Every Friday night, everything shut down. Gas station, Whataburger, Sonics, everything closed. And everybody go to the game. After the game, it'll be back open. But during the game, it's closed.
That's unbelievable, man. That is. I'm just happy. I'm really excited. I'm really happy that you were able to come here and show some leadership, because I think the program needed it. Needed a guy that was the face of the program, who could handle it. And I thought you handled yourself well. Wins and losses, you still handled yourself regardless with class. And I really appreciate that. I really enjoyed our conversation we had during Paradise Camp. And I know you didn't know who the hell I was, but I knew who you were. And it was great talking to you.
It's Lamar's fault that helmets are not allowed to come off in games, Derek.
I already know. Trust me, I know.
He used to pull that thing off. I mean, every catch, and he's ripping it off and running circles around the stadium. And...
I remember I watched all the documentaries. I know.
It's not true. It's not true, brother. I had it was a couple of times ants got in my helmet, so I had to take it off. I had to take it off, make sure I didn't get no bites. But man, I'm excited. The fact that you were able to come here and you were able to help this program, and now you're still helping the program. I mean, that's just kudos to who you are and your family and everybody, your coaches along the way that have installed a lot of good traits in you. Because again, you could be off, with Instagram models and stuff like that, and chilling in the grill. I'm not going to say who, but
he could be back in Houston right now.
He could be back in Houston. I mean, there's so many other variables.
He don't have to be here anymore. He
don't even have to be here, dog. Yeah. So I'm just happy, man. You still here. You doing it, and you know what? You're putting yourself on the right track, regardless of if your playing career continues to go on. You're figuring out, and continue to figure out about this whole coaching thing, because you can always fall back on that. If but get learn the basics of it, because obviously coaching is teaching, it's mentoring. There's so much that goes into it, and you from what I've known about you and what I've heard about you, you're definitely on the right track of doing all that, because kids will want to listen to you because they know you're going to shoot it straight, and you've already proven that you know what you're doing. So kudos to you.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Derek, before we let you go, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the next few months. So you're rehabbing from the surgery, and you're rehabbing that other ligament, I assume, in your knee that you tweaked earlier in the season. I mean, I feel for you. You've got had a long road of rehab the last year or so. You say you're going to be cleared in January. Now, I imagine now I'm not going to suggest it would be at Miami or whatever, that if you wanted to play another year of college football, you probably could apply for a waiver and have a decent chance of getting that accepted. So that would be one option for you. The other option would be to immediately start training for workouts and pro day and things like that for the NFL and seeing where you stand there. What's the future look like to you?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not going back to college. I could get another year, but
you're done with college football.
Done with college, so
okay.
Yeah, I get cleared in January. I'm gonna immediately start training. And I'll train at a bunch of different positions. I already got invited to a couple All-Star games. I'm waiting to see. I got invited to the East Restaurant already. Waiting on Senior Bowl. I've been talking with them for a little minute, so I'm just gonna train and get ready for that, and see what happens.
Okay, and you expect to be totally healthy by that like February timeline?
Yeah, like I said, because this is just AC joint and separate shoulder, so they got that back in place, and now it's just 6 weeks of letting the ligament heal, and then 6 weeks getting my strength back, and that's all it is. So I expect to be fully healthy for it.
Well, brother, you need to continue to pump up those kids in that locker room. Make sure you tell Sam in that equipment room I will be calling him.
For sure. I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell Stephen Phil that he needs to continue his weight loss program and that he looking pretty fit out there on the sideline. I don't know how fit, but he looking fit. You tell him I said. And tell old DVD. Tell old DVD. He's a good dude, man. You tell old DVD I said. And T-Rob, you tell them guys. Tell them I said what's up, all right? You got that for me?
I got you. Yep.
This guy, man, I like this kid, man.
He's the man. I'm telling you, Lamar, I meant what I said. I mean, I've seen very few people come through this program in 40 years that captivated everybody the way this guy has. And
the fact that Gary, he talked to me when he didn't know who the hell I was, I appreciate that. No, man, bro. I can tell by looking around like, who the hell is this dude talking to me?
I knew
But I appreciate it. I was like, you know what? He playing the role. I appreciate that. I love it.
I knew you was. Sure.
And we're pulling for you, man. I hope we get to see you play football again.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Enjoy it. Show, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you, Derek. I'm telling you, Lamar, he's the man. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying that because he was with us. This kid took this program on his back. That would have been a 5-win team last year. I really feel that way.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it would have been just absolutely devastating around here. I don't think you get the recruiting class that you got with guys like James Williams, Leonard Taylor, Cam Kinchins, all that. If you're winning 5 games and you don't have the lift that the Eric King was providing this program, Lamar, I don't think any of that happens. This kid saved Miami football without ever winning anything on the field like you guys did.
Mm-hmm. Again, like you just said, the saving of it even goes further. I mean, think about the kids he was able to help us get in the transfer portal. I mean, they came here because he probably had a big say in that when talking to those kids. Yeah, coaches can say, they can talk to kids, but a lot of times it's about the players that are in the program that can help you in the whole recruiting process. If you have those guys, like a guy like him, that are stand-up guys, and people, you ask other kids in the program about him, and they say he does the right thing, kids are going to come and want to be his teammate. So, I'm just excited about the fact that he's making that transition without making that transition. And you hear what he's saying as far as about being a coach. He's learning. He's seeing things differently. And it's only going to make his game even better when and if he's able to get back on the field, because he's getting to see things and hear game planning. As a quarterback, you hear game planning when you're actually out there, but now you get to sit in with Rhett Lashley and talk about the game plan and figure it out and see what's best for this kid, it's going to help him. And, who knows? We might see this guy as a head coach one day.
You might, and he's being smart. Look, I mean, the odds of him making the NFL are so long, Lamar. They really are. I mean, there's only one Kyler Murray. I mean, he's beaten up. He's had multiple surgeries now. He's undersized. Nobody's ever suggested he's a pro style passer. He's been more of like a dual threat quarterback, but he's not getting drafted in the first round, and it's going to be very difficult for him to last in the National Football League. And he's very smart that he is taking this time when he's dealt with so much adversity, Lamar, to prepare himself for that next level.
Yeah, and I just think that he's really thinking about things. He's preparing himself for life in football and life after football, and I like that. It sounds like he's keeping his options open on a lot of things, and he understands that, hey, you know what? I got to figure out how can I get on this next level. Maybe they don't want me as a quarterback. Maybe somebody might. But if not, I got to figure it out. And if not, I've already set some groundwork, a foundation that, hey, somebody will hire him as a grad assistant easily. And who knows, a smaller school could hire him as a quarterback coach. And from that point on, you move up, you continue to move up. And I think he's smart enough and he knows a lot of ball from, what he said earlier about his dad being the head coach. He understands it.
Now, I talked a minute ago about how he came into the program, he took the whole thing on his shoulders, and he really did. And if you said to me, Gary, in the 40 years that you've been around Miami football, name somebody else for me that did something similar. One of the first names that would come to my mind, because we were in school together, and we came through the same time, and that would be a guy named Eddie Brown. And I say that very sincerely as we bring him on the show. And Eddie, how are you, man?
Hey, how you doing?
It's been a while.
How you doing?
The man, the Godfather.
Good to see you guys. Huh?
But I'm telling you, Lamar, this guy, it was, before Lamar Thomas, before Andre Johnson, there was Eddie Brown, and we didn't have the whole lineup of talent that we would eventually come to put together at Miami. I mean, he literally had to take the offense on his legs and back, and is as responsible for what Miami football became, really, as anybody, Lamar.
Yeah, you know what, Eddie? Here's the thing. Everybody wants to start with the whole Michael Irvin thing, but it goes beyond that. Okay, you were the guy. You, Stanley Shakespeare, and David Kentock were the guys. When I started watching you in football, I said, and that Boston College game you had, man, I was like, that guy is good.
Me and Melvin go through a lot about that game every time. We're talking about who has the most yards. And I kind of topped it with 220. So, but that's our competitiveness, with each other. All of us practice everything. We was out to do it. You know what I mean? We had fun. Practice was fun, and we just made it happen.
Why Miami? Why Miami? I wanted to know that. Why Miami?
Well, I ended up going to Miami. I mean, because I went to Texas for 1 year to a JC. Nobody really didn't know that, and I came back because I had to go to school, night school, and everything to get that degree that year to be able to go to Miami. But I wanted to be back home, and then when I got home, I saw what Howard was doing. He was, and I was young, and I noticed it. He was, and I don't know, Lamar, do you remember this when we had to play against a semi-pro team? We had a junior varsity squad, and everybody had a chance to play, against a semi-pro team. So we got a chance, but Howard started getting most of us from Miami. and that started circulating to Broward County. And then, I mean, even though we have guys from Chicago and, everywhere else, but when he came up with this Miami group, I mean, it was outstanding.
Lamar, I remember going to Miami Baseball Stadium, and I believe Eddie was there, watching Vinny Testaverde, who would go on to win the Heisman Trophy, playing football at Miami Baseball Stadium on the baseball field against what I believe was, I think Eddie's right, I think it was like some kind of semi-pro team or something. This was the junior varsity team,
yeah.
And I think you were one of the receivers there, right, Eddie?
Right.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
guys that would go on to unbelievable careers.
Yeah, all of us that played, well, let's say all of us that went first round. I was the first rounder, a bunch of guys, first and second rounder. But imagine we on a junior varsity squad playing against a semi-pro team. I mean, who thought of that? And Howard brought it to us, and that's where the heart come in at. We had the heart, and that's really what took place. And I mean, I don't know, man. I get choked up about even remembering those days, man. Because and of course practice, man. Practice was game. You couldn't come out of there, I mean, we was tired. We was beat. When we go to the lunchroom, we had to walk through that little path to go back, through the campus. And man, look, you didn't really eat. You really kind of just drunk a little water and got up out of there. You had a plate of food in front of you, but you was too tired. That means we worked, what I mean? And that's the thing that, we was putting on the table. You come to Miami, your practice is really a game situation.
Eddie, I got to ask you this. After you left and you look back on all these good receivers that have come through there, have you taken a chance to sit back and go, you know what? I started that. I got this going. Because let me tell you something. Without you, there's none of us. There's none of us.
Hey, but you know what? I look at you guys. I mean, Lamar, when you called me and I saw your text and I called back, and I'm proud of you guys, man, and the way that this receiver core that we had, starting from me, with me, going to now, to I mean, we have a receiver core that was, I don't think nobody really put together what receiver core that we had. I'm talking year after year after year after year, because we had Gary Stevens at some point. In my years, we had Gary Stevens, but then the trend stayed the same way. Offensively, we stayed the same way. With Alonzo and those guys was monsters on that running back field. Look at it. Alonzo was a linebacker, man. I was a DB at one point in time. They knew how to use us both ways, and we just made it happen because we enjoyed the game. We didn't just, just do it just to, be out on the field and have on the green and orange. We enjoy practice. That's what they got to do. You got to enjoy it.
Hey, I got to ask you this. Okay, so you went from University of Miami to Cincinnati, right? To the Bengals. They weren't really a winning team at that point. How different was that to go from some that where you were winning to not really winning, but you built it into something?
Right. Well, we, like I said, also that too. I ended up, sometimes it's where you go, and I ended up going to a team where we grew up, and because I made my Pro Bowl year. I made it in my fourth year, but I could have made it. But I did Rookie of the Year. Like I say, it's how you prepare. I keep going back to practice that we do, that we always have had. The practice makes the purpose perfect. cannot be mediocre if you practice well. And I don't know, man. I think we were just at each other. We just, we love each other, but defense against offense when you step on that field, and that's even in practice.
Eddie, what are you doing these days? What are you up to?
Yeah.
What are you up to these days? What are you doing these
when
days?
When the arena football was in, I was with them for a minute. I work in a law firm. I work in a law firm now with my agent Jim Ferraro. So
okay.
I prepare for courts. We have like we're more paperless now, so I work in the courtroom.
Very cool.
Eddie, you ever?
I'm outside, Lamar. You got me. I had to make a stop to get to you, man. Don't let you down.
I know. Now you had we had the same coach. We had Sam Weiss. We had Coach Weiss, Sam Weiss. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, man, he was a good dude, man. He passed away.
Yes.
He was a good dude. He's a very innovative guy.
Yeah. I was up there. We had our 30th anniversary. Yeah.
He was a very innovative coach.
Cincinnati. We had a #1 offense. Say it again.
He's very innovative. He did a lot of the no huddle stuff that they're doing today.
Make a stop.
He in the desert. Go ahead, Gary.
Eddie, do you watch a lot of Miami football these days? Do you watch a lot of Miami football?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm still in Miami. I just travel pretty much a lot.
So what are your thoughts watching the Hurricanes?
Hello, you hear me?
What are your thoughts when you're watching the Hurricanes? What do you
say it again?
What do you think? What are your thoughts on when you watch the Hurricanes? What are you thinking when you watch the Hurricanes?
Yeah, man, I'm out here in this desert, man, and these bugs is getting to me. I don't know, man. I mean, it's not us. I commend the work that the coaching staff is doing, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just enjoy watching us, but I mean, we just have to get better. It comes with time. The work has, and see, the old guys are going back, and that's what we used to have a lot. Some of the guys, they used to come back and watch the younger guys play, on the sideline, giving them that support. So we may need to bring that back. So I mean, not to become a coach or to override the coach, but to give that support.
Well, Eddie, man, we appreciate having you on, man. I know you out there and the bugs are flying around, but I had to get you on tonight because you're the guy that started all this. So we wanted to give you homage, and I had a big smile on my face, man. I appreciate everything you've done for the program, and just from one receiver to the next. I don't come there unless you start this whole thing off. So we appreciate it. I appreciate it. And all my guys, we definitely appreciate it.
Hey, man, anytime you need me, like I said, I saw your text. Any of you guys, you call me, you need me for you.
All right, Eddie, great seeing you again, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Eddie.
Eddie Brown, man, I'll tell you, I meant what I said, Lamar. He and I came to Miami around this. I think I can't remember if he came in 79 or 80. I think he came in 80. But we were there at the same time, and I just remember how he basically had Howard's offense on his back, and when they needed a big play, they were going to Eddie Brown.
Man, he made some hell of plays. As a guy who was, I love watching the guys before me, and I love watching. We watched a lot of tape, and not just Michael Irvin, but the Eddie Browns, and it was just amazing to watch because, again, he had Gary Stevens, and Stevens had a breakdown tape. So as you're watching it, you're like, man, I don't think I could be as good as this guy. I mean, he had the hands, he had the size, he had the speed. You know, that 40 jersey kind of just threw everybody off. But he was the total complete package. I think first rounder, Cincinnati. I mean, played for a long time.
He played at least 10 years, right?
Oh shit, I think he was still in the league when I got in the league.
Yeah,
you know, he was in there a long time, and always a very stand-up guy. Always a very, you know, whenever you ask a question, he always had an answer for you. You know, I would always, every time I would see him, if he came to the games, I would ask him, "What can I do better? You know, how can I get better?" Because I was one of those guys. I just wanted to ask those guys who were on that next level, who had played and had been through what I've been through. I wanted to dig in their mind and know what can I do to get better. And he always had great answers for me, and it you know, that's why I always respected him.
Hey, LT, I got a whole bunch of stuff I still want to ask you just about the current team, but let's take a second here and talk about all Canes, because there's a lot going on with merchandise in the world today, and with the shipping companies stuck out at sea and that sort of thing. And, you know, the one thing that Harry wanted us to drive home tonight is that don't wait to do your Christmas shopping, folks, because there's not going to be the usual inventory that there might have, you know, normally be and things like that. You know, if you're going to buy Canes gifts for loved ones or family members for the holidays, November would be a good time to get over to All Canes when their website starts working again. Get on the website and start shopping. And LT, I know this item I'm putting up on the screen right now.
You got to put that one up there.
That's going to be on your holiday list, right?
Oh yeah, that's a nice jersey, man. That's really nice. That's you know, last week 2 weeks ago we had all those guys from the 2001 team. They all came out wearing those Sean Taylor jerseys, sharp, really sharp. It's definitely something you want for Christmas present. I mean, look at that.
There they are.
I don't know who that guy is right there wearing that Sean Taylor jersey, but I can tell you he's not an extra large. He's probably a triple X, but he makes it look good. Those jerseys are sharp. Actually, he's about a 4X, and that jersey looks good.
Yeah, that Sean Taylor jersey would make the perfect gift for the Canes and your family, and they have new merchandise arriving daily at All Canes that's available online or in store. Lamar, they also have the Zuba.
Dime Life. Yeah, don't forget about the Dime Life stuff now, the Zuba stuff.
I mean,
there it is.
That's a killer hat right there.
Yeah, I got to get my hands on that one. Not too much of shorts, though. I got skinny legs. I don't want to look like the Ibis, so we'll keep going on that. I like that shirt.
These are kind of nice hats, Lamar.
Let's see here. I like the hats. Shorts, I'm not a really short guy. Everybody's seen my legs. They aren't big, so we'll stay away from the shorts. But I love those shirts. There's a 2001. I mean, obviously, you know, that 2001 team.
So All Canes has been a Canes fan tradition since 1959. Lamar and I both have been shopping there for many years, and they've got special hours this weekend for homecoming with a lot of alumni going to campus. You can shop there on Friday from 10 to 6, Saturday from 8:30 to 5, and Sunday from 11 to 4. So make sure you make time for All Canes this holiday season, and I think you'll be happy that you did. All right, Lamar, I wanted to ask you about a couple things. And,
all right, let's go.
You know, we talked with the Eric King about Tyler Van Dyke, and like this kid is like growing up before our eyes. I mean, some of the things that he's doing on the field the last couple weeks, you just don't typically see a first-year quarterback to do. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's come a long way. I mean, and to know that he has people in that building helping him and outside the building. That's important. I mean, and now you can see what some of the growth is coming from, because, you know, I was very concerned after the tipped interception at the end of the game. I was very concerned. I saw him distraught, crying after the game. I was like, it's either going to go one way or the other. And so with that being said, I think it's going the positive way and taking it as a learning experience. It's almost like the guy who will shoot a three-pointer at the end of the game. He's not afraid to shoot it. He wants it on his back. That's that guy that, there are a lot of guys at the end of the game, they don't want the ball. Whether it's basketball, football, they don't want to be at the bat. They don't want to be, they don't want that ball coming to them. But this guy, he seems like he wants the ball in his hands at the end of the game. And he's won, he's lost, but I think that it makes him better that he has lost. And, I just think this kid's going to be great. I mean, it's still early, but from what I see with everybody helping him, I think he's going to be pretty damn good.
Now, I didn't want to ask Derek this because I don't want to put him on the spot, but TC Cap is asking a legitimate question here, and in a different kind of way. But if you go back to September, Lamar, these two kids, Jake Garcia, Tyler Van Dyke, are neck and neck. One is not standing out above the other. They're splitting reps. Jake gets hurt in the Central Connecticut State game and doesn't get to play anymore, and Tyler takes the baton and runs with it. Lamar, what happens now? They're going to have games invested in Tyler Van Dyke. He's performing relatively well. There's no guarantees every game is going to go like the last two have. But what happens from here on out? How does Jake Garcia factor into the future? And does he get a fair chance, you think, to compete again?
Back in the day, that guy said he competed. Today's kids, I hate to throw this out there. You think about it, the loser of that quarterback battle will probably leave. I mean, that's just the way it goes. I mean, that's unfortunate. That's today's kids. You would say, hey, guy doesn't win the battle because Jake Garcia is going to come back after this season and he's going to battle for that starting job. And he's going to do whatever he can to win that starting job. And let's say he does, what does TBD do? I mean, he has a resume. Does he sit around and say, well, I lost the job. Do I win it back or wait for someone to get hurt? What if Jake Garcia loses the job? Does he say, you know what, screw this. I'm highly talented. Somebody will want to pick me up.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
what I'm getting at is, does he get a fair shot to compete? I mean, if Tyler Van Dyke got 8 games under his belt,
I think he gets a shot. It's just, I don't know if it's a fair shot because, if this guy is able to say Manny Diaz's job and that coaching staff's job, they're going to be a little partial to this kid. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not speaking. I'm not in that staff room. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if I'm on that staff and this guy wins us these games next year, I'm saying, hey, man, that's our guy.
And it's amazing to me, Lamar, because like I talked to Derek about, I'm telling you, if there was a poll, an anonymous poll, where somebody had to write something blind on a sheet of paper and dump it in a bucket, and somebody was going to tally it early September, I guarantee you at least 75% of the vote would have been that Jake Garcia is going to be the future quarterback at Miami next year.
100%.
There's no doubt in my mind.
But it didn't happen that way.
It didn't happen that way.
And this kid has, if he wins these next 4 games, you can't really – I might even take back what I said about a battle because you got to be partial to the guy that just saved your freaking job.
Yeah, and he is doing that.
I mean, that's what he's doing. I mean,
these are razor thin games, and he's performing.
Yeah, and so with that being said, I mean, you come into the next year, you're trying to build your quarterback position room. That what ifs. I'm pretty sure in the back in those staff meeting rooms where the quarterback, the head coach, the head coach, offensive coordinator, whatever, they're talking about what do we do if this happens. We got to make sure we have some guys in place because, I mean, that's just the way today's kids are. I mean, it's like this. We say Gino Toretta stays, Craig Harrison's the starter. Yep. You look at back in the day, and it just brought something up to me, the thought of it. Brian Forte left. He left and went to Rutgers.
Yep.
You know, it's a different position, man. These guys, they come up through their programs and they're the guy, and they like to feel like the guy. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I want to see what happens if we're able to win these next 4 games, how this is gonna play out. Because to me, this guy's on the way to you build your program around him if he's able to do that. And even if he's not, let's say he wins 3 out of 4. I mean, that's still something to be said for.
Cedric Doris has a question for you. Do you see any qualities in TVD that Gino Toretta had on the field?
Well, I see some things he does better than Gino. He runs the ball. Gino sucked at running. His head was too big. The leadership. I mean, you can tell now. You can tell 4 or 5 games ago, those kids in the huddle probably didn't give him the respect but now the respect is there. You can see that huddle. You can see how that huddle is. And you know what? Those offensive linemen are playing better. You know, the 1 or 2 running backs we have left is playing better. Rooster. The receivers are playing better. The tight ends are feeling like they're part of the offense now. It's just a whole different atmosphere, and Rhett probably feels better about calling plays now. I can tell you that 100% on that.
You know, another thing that I've noticed that I wanted to talk to you about is more receivers are stepping up. And, I was looking, Rambo got 12 targets the other day, caught 7 balls for 101 yards. But it wasn't just the Rambo show this week. It was Restrepo, 7 targets, 7 catches for 89 yards. Harley had 5 catches, 6 targets. He's performing. Keyshawn.
Well, Gary, hold on. I said that earlier last week that the defense that Pitt played, they had a lot of times the safeties covering those inside slot receivers, and they should have a big day. And Rhett took advantage of it.
And Rhett has stepped up the last few weeks. He's calling the game much more aggressively, Lamar, and it's made a world of difference. And very rarely do you see a coach kind of express some regret and kind of chastise himself a little bit. But Rhett did that with us this week, and he flat admitted. I think I was the one that asked him the question that he was answering, and he flat admitted that he was too conservative against Virginia. And you could tell that he's kind of like regretting that maybe his conservatism might have contributed to losing that game.
Well, we talked about this. I mean, Gary, the fact was you got a guy that's in there who said the room was spinning fast against Central Connecticut State and the rest of those teams. So, with that being said, you got to slow it down a little bit. You can't put too much on his shoulders because you don't want to. You know that this guy is going to be our guy for the next year, for the whole year. So you don't want to put too much on his shoulders, and you don't want to crush him where he can't recover. And I think what Rhett was trying to do was keep the game plan kind of simple, but instead he wasn't comfortable calling the game. Now I think he's very comfortable calling the game, and we saw a lot of that last week and the week before, and the offense has been able to thrive because he's doing some things back to the offense that we thought we would be seeing after the Alabama game. I can't say really in the Alabama game because we didn't really expect too much because we knew Alabama was pretty damn good. So, but after the Alabama game, the offense that we're seeing now, this is what we expected.
But now let me ask you this. Now we're 3-4 weeks later, and now he's played a few more games. Saturday against Georgia Tech, you're going against the defense very similar to what Virginia was playing. And how different is the game plan going to be Saturday? Do you load up Tyler Van Dyke at this point of his career still, or what do you do as a coach?
I think you trust the kid, and he's had success, and you ride that success. Right now, he's a very confident young man back there, and that for a quarterback, that's more than half the battle. He has to be confident. We've seen young guys get back there and they're not confident because they don't really know what's going on. It's going too fast for him. I think the game is slowed down for him now. And on top of that, the offensive line is performing better. Your tight ends are performing better. Your receivers are performing better. So everybody around him is on board, and it makes his job a lot easier. So you can, I would say, Rhett, don't slow down. Don't take your foot off the gas. Let it go. You know, you have nothing to lose. You got 4 games with 4 teams that definitely are not better than the last 2 teams you beat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so do your thing. Don't hold back. Just let this guy, because this is your future. This is how Rhett Lashley becomes a head coach on this kid's back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
We got a new visitor to the show.
Mr. Wesley Carroll. How about this? Sir. Wesley Carroll, the guy that, man, we haven't seen you in a long time, man. This is so, I ain't seen you. I
remember seeing that last time Wesley was in town.
I know.
Man, I ain't seen you since the Wisconsin 51-3 game.
Oh yeah. Those were the good times. Yes, sir.
Wesley Carroll, my friend, the one of the greatest receivers to play at the University of Miami. And you know what? You don't get enough credit. I was able to sit there and watch you for 2. You were there 2 years. You came from a junior college. What junior college was that you went to?
Northwest Mississippi, down in Senatobia.
What was that like?
Oh my gosh. You had a town that only had 2-story buildings. You had maybe 2 stoplights. Everything was stop signs. Biggest store that was there was Walmart. I lived in McDonald's. That was pretty much it.
You and Bobby Bird?
Yeah, Bobby Bird, Cortez Kennedy. Cortez Kennedy was there.
We got 3 of you guys that year, right?
Exactly. No, Cortez came out the year before.
Okay.
And then me and Bobby Bird, we came in on a recruiting visit. Coach Jimmy Johnson asked us if we wanted to come up here and play, and I'm not going to deny. Yes, I was like, yes, right now, let's go.
Well, let me be honest with you. I was pissed off when you got there. I said, man, who is this dude, man? They ain't tell me they were recruiting some junior college guy. And when I saw you run, well, of course, obviously when Coach Harrison took over and they put you in the slot, I said, holy crap, this dude is really, really good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Lamar? When I came up here, it was really Bobby Bird's visit. I happened to shop myself around with some video. One of my coaches, Coach Bobby Franklin, asked me what schools I wanted to go to, and it was University of Tennessee, then it was University of Miami, and then it was the Gamecocks. I took a couple of visits or whatever, came in on Bobby Bird's visit. Coach asked me if I wanted to stay. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's make this happen. And it was a exciting road when I came up here, when I seen all you guys up there, and it was a different talent pool. These y'all guys, they were out there practicing, and when I first came in, nobody dropped balls. And that's the first time I've been on the team that nobody dropped balls, and everybody was hustling. It was a different mentality.
Hey, remember when you first got there? Well, when you're being recruited, we were in 3-point stance.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that. Who was that? Michael Irvin phase. Everybody, Brett Pearman, everybody was in that 3-point stance. I was like, that was something different. That's like running back stuff, tight end stuff, man.
And that didn't affect your recruiting. I mean, when you looked at that, I mean, were you in 3-point stance at JUCO?
No, we wasn't in 3-point stands. You know what? Miami came on the radar for me. I was at home one winter watching Nebraska play University of Miami. And I don't know if it's a championship or whatever, but I remember Turner Gill, Mike Rozier, Kozar, and everybody. It was like a tight game, back and forth. And I was like, you know what? One day I want to be on that type of stage. And when Miami presented itself, I was like, you know what? That's a no-brainer. Go make it happen.
Well, I can say this: when Coach Harrison came in, and they put you in that slot. I said, "Shit, I ain't gonna never play."
But hey, Lamar, you know what? When I first got there, or whatever, I was at the bottom of the depth chart. I was out there at X, I was out there at Z, and the coaches was trying to figure out what is the formula, what can we put together to make it work. And I think I was probably one of the guys that was more aggressive going towards the ball. And I was like used to going and getting in that contact or whatever. But Randall, he fit the position being outside. Dale was that middle guy. He was the betweener. And then I just happened to be like, I didn't even know it was a possession type position. I was just like, I got to catch every ball. I got to catch every ball. No matter if I run the wrong play, the wrong route, if I get jammed up, if the ball comes, I got to catch the ball. I got to catch the ball. And that was like my number one thing as a receiver. Catch the ball no matter what.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to bring this up. So, one of my biggest regrets, and I tell receivers this, when you're supposed to go outside, outside release,
yes, sir.
and you don't go outside release because you're selfish, you can get somebody that you like who actually cut your hair for free. You can get them killed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dog, I got you killed against Wisconsin. Oh, my God.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I went inside, and you were running the out route, and I looked back, and I heard the crash, and I said, oh, I guess I ain't getting no more free haircuts.
Yeah. But you know what, Lamar? I thought that was just part of the game. When we got into it, because I had never been in an offense that was a pro-style offense. I came from like you line up and you make the play work no matter what. There was so many adjustments that was on the run that was out there when we were out there that, I thought it was part of the game. I get hit, but when we got into, in the meeting room and everybody started making these jokes and everybody's like, Lamar, why you do that to that man? Why you get that man hit like that? It's you chalk it up. You chalk it up as part of the game. Coke and a smile, keep it moving.
I don't know about no coke and a smile. I think you held that against me for a little bit. I got you killed, dog. I feel bad. So from that point on, I said, you know what? I got to go outside, man. I ain't getting the ball.
Yeah.
So I got to go outside, and I got a chance to start in between you and Randall Hill the next year. And let me tell you something. Y'all were two interesting fellas. I was just happy to be out there, but y'all two y'all were seniors, so y'all mindset was very focused on the next level. And I'm just happy-go-lucky. I ain't celebrate. I just was happy to get the ball, and I learned a lot from both of y'all. Like I learned the professional side of the game because you always handled yourself. You and Randall always handled yourself professionally, so I got to learn that from you guys. But I tell you, man, sitting in a meeting and watching you guys study and prepare helped me, and what it was able to do, I passed it down to other guys. I mean, you guys were, here it is. You played at the JUCO, so you come here and you're like, look, that was Mickey Mouse stuff. Right. That's not the way we do it. So, I mean, I just want to always tell you thank you, man. Because you're one of those guys that made it so much easier for me, and I learned a lot from you.
LT, look who popped in, and he's got decorations.
Oh, Jesus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
hey, let me
Dale Dawkins. What?
Hey, man.
That's Big Brother right there.
Oh, my God.
The man that don't let you sleep. He don't let you sleep in the hotel. He
Bomb
keep you up
squad.
all night.
Hey, listen, man, I got to give a shout out to Cane's World and Nation out there, man. We still love you guys. Appreciate what y'all do for our football program. And also, man, my parents, my mom and hurricane parents are awake watching this show tonight, Lamar.
Rob and Belinda.
Shout out to Ron and Belinda.
Ron and Belinda.
You guys very much. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Love those people. Good people, man. I don't think I would have made it without them.
Hey, matter of fact, let me tell this quick story right here, Dale Dawkins. First time in my life I ever held $1,000.
Wow.
You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going, Wes. After the Notre Dame game, which you didn't play. Dale had the 2 touchdowns, and I'm not going to say what establishment we were in and how he got the $1,000. But I asked him. I said, "Can I hold that?" He let me hold it, and I looked at it and I said, "Oh, it's on and popping now." I had never held $1,000 in my hand, and because of Dale, I said, "Oh, it's on. It's definitely on." And I told that guy, I said, "You're gonna be giving." I didn't say giving. You're gonna be handing that over to me pretty soon.
It might have been more than that. It might have been more than that.
You can't tell it all now. We can't tell it all, Dale.
Hey,
can't tell.
Man, I remember every game, that dude was my roommate on the road, man. And I could not get no sleep with that dude. I don't know what he just come in and just trying to wrestle. I'm in the room and it's pitch black dark. I'm asleep. He want to wrestle in the middle of the night.
It's time to go. It's time to go. We'd have been fighting all week, ready to get to some new blood, and I just couldn't hold it in.
Yeah. Hey, Lamar, you know you was talking about that trickle down stuff. When I first got there, I came from a JUCO. Randall Hill and Dale Dawkins would always come, and I was in the tennis dorm. I wasn't in the football dorm in the beginning. They would always come and get me and take me over to their house, take me over to the youth center. They would take me fishing. They would do all of that stuff. And when they did that, I became one of their brothers, and it has not gone away. I can see Randall to this day. Even though we're on the two different ends of the spectrum as far as how we play and all that type of stuff, he treats me as a brother. Dale, when I see him, that's my big brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. Hey, Wesley, man, you hit on something very important. I think a lot of our young athletes, they're missing today. There's too many individuals. We were a group. We were a unit. We were a team. We were a brotherhood, and we were a nation.
Right.
And man, that was what we built, the legacy that we were part of building there at the University of Miami. Until this day, I don't care who I call on that team, they pick that phone up.
Yes, they do.
They pick the phone up. And we enjoy seeing each other just like it was during the U days. And we have as much fun. So I just wish our kids understood the culture, you know, that we were trying to establish, that we did establish there, and that was some kind of way it was contagious to them, that they would understand that you're playing for something bigger than, you know, than who you are. I mean, it's those people that's come before you. It's those guys that you want to represent. It's those guys that have set the example for you guys and how you guys need to carry yourselves. I don't think they realize, man, as a unit, you know, we were able to get like 57 guys into the National Football League because we were a team and a unit and we all went together.
Right. Hey, you remember
I hope we understand.
You remember our 12-minute run? I don't care who's in front. Everybody would wait to the last lap and we would all run in holding hands because that's what we were. We were one.
We were one.
Yep, we were one.
And so, I remember old crazy Lamar, man, all this stuff. He always tried to sneak in the game. We tried to, it ain't your time yet.
Here we go. Okay, all right. Since you want to bring that up, let's talk about the national championship game, son. When I tried to come in the huddle, I tried to come in the huddle, and y'all wouldn't let me in.
This is my last year.
Hey, bro, the man sit me in.
Dale, he tried to do the same thing to me. He told me to get out. I was like, no, sir. No, sir.
Hey, man. Y'all did me wrong. Y'all did me wrong in the national championship game against Alabama.
You were about to take over once we were out of there, so we knew you were going to be all right. But let us get out.
Bro, I got to play. What am I supposed to do? Coach Harrison said, what the freak happened? I said, Coach, they wouldn't let me in.
Dale sent me out. That's all you
I remember that many a days.
I said, man, and I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I'm a young pup, man. My shoulder pad was up here. You know what I mean? My jersey wasn't even tucked in, right? I wanted to be part of the bomb squad. But, I mean, that was embarrassing, though. I had to grab my hamstring and act like I was hurt.
But Lamar,
I remember that.
Yeah. But Lamar, that was the beauty back in the days of playing at the U, man. I mean,
that wasn't beauty.
I'm just saying, to get on the field, you want to be a part of it and get out there and play because of the electricity, the excitement. You know what? Just the atmosphere of being a part of that team, man, was. I mean, you do anything to get on the field. You for sure wasn't gonna get hurt.
And Dale, check this out. I'm coaching right now, and there's a substitution process. When we were out there, guess what? We were substituting ourselves, and we was making sure that everybody got a little piece of something that we were getting into. So when somebody go deep, we pat our head. The next man come in. He get his 2 or 3 plays, and sometimes we know the play that's coming to our position, and we'll give it to the younger guy just to make sure that he gets some of that experience.
Exactly, and that was and to Wesley, that you bring another good point. You know, we were excited for one another. We wanted to see each other be successful.
Exactly.
You know, we were happy. You know, we all dancing. We ain't catch the ball. We ain't scored. We ain't do nothing. And we all down in the end zone like you know.
Listen. I scored an 88-yard touchdown, and the first thing came out of Lamar's mouth. Hey, did you see that block I did? Did you see that block? Boy, I blocked for you. I got you in the end zone, boy. That's what's up.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. As a receiver coach, I try to tell young receivers, the way you get on the field, you have to do whatever it takes. Like you said there, you got to get down and dirty. I started off my whole game. It was Wesley, Dale, and Randall. Okay, that was the 3 guys. I come in, it's usually going to be a running play. Okay, I got the block. Wesley, you scoring Dale, y'all scoring touchdown. I'm blocking. Okay, I finally got against San Jose State. They audible on a running play, and I got my first touchdown. That's how it happened. So what I try to tell young guys, you go in there, you give 110%, whether it's a run play, because the coaches will go back and look at that film and go, you know what? He deserves this opportunity. Right, he's doing the down and dirty stuff. He has to wait his turn. And a lot of kids don't understand it. They don't want to go in on the running plays. They want all pass plays. And I'm like, that's not the way it goes, dog. You have to pay your dues to an extent.
Exactly. And we also did that in routes. When we knew that you had to get open and we had to sacrifice our route or whatever, we know we can get open, but no, the ball is coming over here. We got to sacrifice our route to make sure that we're covered, to make sure that this man is open. And that was
a tailback out where you had to go outside release. Remember that, Dale? You played inside. The guy had the Z and trips had to go outside. If not, the tailback was gonna get killed.
Man, Wesley was greedy, man. Wesley was greedy. He was in Gino and Craig's back pocket, Doc. I'm trying to tell you the whole time.
Hey, I just kept my mouth closed, man. I kept my mouth closed. Look, in the huddle, they be like, hey, I'm open. Hey, I'm open. I just said, I ain't say nothing. I just kept my mouth closed.
Hey, I gotta admit, he really didn't talk a lot. He didn't beg for the ball. He was just in the right position, Dale. Tailback.
Whatever.
Hey, Lamar, you know something? We always go back on this. Hold up, Dale. We always go back on this. And this is how you know that we were a unit and we were family and we were one. Dale Dawkins had that tailback spot. Before I got there, remember I started at the bottom, right? And we all competing and everybody's trying to find out where they're going to fit in, And the tailback position, the coach said that this position gets a lot of balls thrown to it, right? We figured it out. We got the best people on the team at that particular time. Dale moved over to the Z spot. I ended up inheriting that tailback spot. You know what? Most receivers will be pissed off at that. Most receivers will probably try to sabotage, to make sure that guy don't get open. He don't get the plays that he need because I need to be in that position. That dude right there took me up under his wings. He started showing me a whole bunch of different things. I was getting double covered, and I was like frustrated. And I was like, damn, how do I beat this? How do I get open? How do I beat the double team? And guess what? He showed me the trick on how to beat it. You attack it low and you attack one. You don't worry about two. You just attack one. If you're going deep, you attack that deep. You don't mess with that little guy. And he was always there feeding me information on how I can get better. And that's big right there. That's big.
Weston too. I think what people fail to realize too, that whenever you're able to, I don't even count it as a sacrifice. Even though it is something that you, I mean, if you got a better guy that can go in that spot and go make the team better, I mean, you're not bigger than the team.
Right.
So if you can keep that, if you can keep that in the right perspective, that we are a team and you're not bigger than the team, because while doing that, my moment came.
Right.
Your moment's gonna come, and you got to be ready for the moment. And my moment came at that Notre Dame game.
Yes, it did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it did.
So I think guys sometimes lose the whole concept of the team and they become an individual. Now they get mad and get salty. I know these guys today, they'll just take off and say, well, if I can't have that position, I'm gonna leave and go to another school. And it makes it very difficult for coaches and for you to build something, help guys come together as a unit when you're dealing with so many different personalities and attitudes. And guys just don't understand, man. If you stick together, you stay together, you win together, and that's when all of y'all arrive at the top level together.
Right. Hey, Lamar, what's the ugliest route you ever ran? I can tell you, it was a hook. It was a curl. It was a curl. And guess what? I used that as a demo on how to get around that linebacker coming out to the flat. You got to curl around him. I was like, look at Lamar Thomas. But you caught the ball.
Hey, dog. I didn't bring y'all on the show to talk about my shortcomings. Other than that, one play against Alabama, everybody think I'm great. Shit. I mean, I don't need y'all telling all my shit, all my stuff.
Listen. Wait.
Damn. Y'all heard my legacy around this bitch. Come on, man.
No,
I was a young pup when I was a young pup, bro. When y'all was playing, I was a young pup, and I just watched y'all to a T, bro. That's all I did. I followed y'all on and off the field. I followed y'all. I watched everything y'all did, and I picked out. I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I see these guys. I want to be like this guy. I want to be like this guy. Look at the way they work. Other than the weight room, I follow everybody. Other than the weight room.
Let me ask you a question, Lamar. Let me ask you a question. Because I mean, people like to bring those points up as moments where I might look bad, but what did you do afterwards? You didn't fall in the tank. You went down on yourself. You busted your butt and you worked and you learned from those mistakes. And I think what happens with a lot of guys, man, when things like that happen to them, they take it too personal and they lose sight of what they're trying to do, because through adversity, failure, man, greatness comes out of that. And that's what you did after that. I mean,
look at Lamar.
Did you ever make that mistake again? Did you ever make that mistake again?
No, I ran through the end zone. Ain't nobody catch me after that.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I had the ball in the outside arm after that too. I guarantee you that.
What I'm talking about. So I mean, those are moments for young kids that are watching and hearing what we're talking about today. Is that regardless, there's gonna be some ups and downs in sports, man. You're gonna have adversity. You're gonna go through some things. You're gonna come up against coaches. And I tell kids that I work with all the time now, especially when they come into have a teacher that they don't like. And I always tell them that's the best person for you right now, because that person, that teacher, is preparing you for life. And so whenever you can face things that you feel like you can't overcome, or things that you have shortcomings in, man, those are the things that, because you're gonna later on, because where you are right now is not your in the place. So I try to tell them, man, just take it in stride, learn from it, and keep it moving.
Okay, hey, Lamar, you know one thing, Lamar, one thing that I respect of you so much, that you were probably one of the youngest guys that was out there on the field, and you was a freshman. I think Dale was a senior and I was a junior. Whenever you got out there and you made it known, and you made it, we believed that you belonged out there. You competed at the highest level with us. We didn't fall off when you was out there. If anything, we enhanced a lot of stuff because we know you can jump out the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? And anytime that ball is up in the air, we know if you throw it up over there by Lamar, it's going to be caught. So when you got out there, we didn't lose a step. We gained a step.
When Lamar got that, open that field up, spread it out a little bit. Make them zones, them holes a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I was like that joke on the outside of me, boy.
I appreciate all the love, but here's the question I got to ask y'all because I had my own answer to it. When we all found out that Dennis Harrison was coming, what was your first thoughts of that?
I didn't have no thoughts. I was new. I was hey, when I got in that starting lineup, I was happy his ass was there.
Yeah.
But I didn't have anything to go on.
Hey, I love Dennis Harrison to death, man. I really do. We to this day, I mean, we have a very, very, very good relationship. But I wasn't sure because we didn't know anything about what his coaching staff when they were coming in. We weren't sure whether or not they could take this limousine or this whatever you want to call it, the best car in the world, and keep it on the tracks and keep it straight in the road. Because we were a different culture. We were a different set of athletes. He had never, had guys like us who were out of the projects, man, guys that coming from low income families, guys that's traveling all over to, and guys with all these personalities. We were a team full of personalities, and I don't think his teams prior to him coming to Miami that they had that type of experience. And not to say that they could handle it, but I just remember that first Florida State game, and and I was the captain, and they called the same play 3 times in a row, and I told Craig, I was like, listen, man, timeout. And he's like, man, don't you call no timeout. I call timeout. I said, we walked over to, you remember that, Wesley?
Yeah.
We walked over
Gino.
to the side. No, it was Craig.
Craig was in the beginning.
It was Craig. And so we walked over. Erickson stepped on the field, and boy, he is just blasting me. He is blasting me. And I said, listen, and I stopped him and I said, Coach, I said, and he'll tell you this to this day. I said, Coach, you guys call that play at the same time, but we're seeing something completely different on the field. You gotta, will you trust us? And he asked us, what do y'all see? I called my route, and I called ZN.
ZN 93X ZN.
There you go. There you go.
I cleared. Wesley cleared out. I came across middle, caught the pass, and from that moment on, he allowed Craig, gave Craig a little bit more leeway to audible from the line of scrimmage and change up. And man, we just exploded after that.
Yeah. Well, let me explain something to you that happened after that, because I saw that and I became very, very familiar with the offense. So I would run those plays in, and 90% of them would be changed.
Yeah.
ZN got called a lot. Z option got called a lot. I didn't play much tailback, so we went 66X. We went. I mean, there are a lot of things that Coach Harrison kind of gave me. But once I saw that, once I saw you do that, I said, "Well, shit, I'm good now. Okay, I got this."
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was good to change. It changed. It changed. It made it. They allowed us to come into the coaching booth with them. You know what I mean? To say, hey, and they trusted us. Hey, and they would ask us when we came over, hey, what do y'all see? And we were able to, give that feedback as to what we were seeing, how guys were playing. Up top, Steve Burkowski, he's looking down. He's seeing something from over the top what we're seeing. But we got guys.
Bob.
Bob.
Big head Bob.
But they, how they do. So I mean, it worked out, and man, from there, man, it just took off. I mean,
you know what the craziest thing I just noticed, that I can remember those plays But any plays outside the NFL and all that type of stuff, I don't remember. But I remember
Hey, that's
66
hey,
and 93.
that's the NFL concussion deal, Doc. You need to use it.
You're right.
Early stages of dementia.
Yeah.
Hey Dale,
It's true, man. Same thing.
What's that in the back? You 55, bro?
Yeah, Doc. You know, listen, I'm the senior spokesman now, Doc.
Damn,
That's
bro,
why I put it up there.
55. You older than that,
bro. I didn't know you were 55.
Be quiet, Wesley. There might be some young ladies watching this.
Oh, my fault.
Watch your
Hey,
back.
I'm 54.
And who's that cigar from? Is that from Bear Shop? Is that from Bear?
Hey, listen, Smoke Lounge, Doc. Out of the smoke, OTS, baby. Coming to Miami this weekend.
The cigar shop coming to Miami?
Coming to Miami this weekend, baby.
Oh yeah, I got to get some of them.
Yeah.
Randy Bethel has a cigar shop, a mobile cigar shop.
Mobile.
Mm-hmm. What's the name of it again? Give him a shout out.
It's OTS. Out of the smoke. That's how we got that from. Out of the smoke came from how we use love run out that smoke.
Yeah.
So so that's how we came with that term. It's Miami decorated all the way down. We don't mind joining somebody's tailgate group. I mean, we actually love to do that if that's possible. But it's a neat deal, man. And Lamar, this is something y'all need to hit on, man. I wish that the university, with the alumni players, man, can get us more involved with what's going on with our fans, man. That is critical. That we help them keep our fans excited, and they can use us. I mean, to just, walk through the stands, man. Call our names out. Something. Dale's walking through whatever. I don't care. Call your Hall of. I don't care who you call out, but they need to figure out some kind of way to get us, more interactive with the fans, and because man, they paid without them, man. And most of the ones that I know, they really love talking about them old days because they want to see those glory days come back to the youth. And if we can help keep the enthusiasm and excitement and people coming to the game, we might be down now, but we ain't gonna be down forever.
I may be done with my past, but my past is not done with me. We got to stay relevant, man. We got to stay relevant.
Wesley, you always been one of them sensei type dudes. You know what I mean? You got sensei, like you're a fortune cookie. You're a fortune cookie type dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he always bringing a saying, and I'm sitting there as a young guy, like, what the hell is he talking about?
What are you talking about? What does that mean?
What is he talking about? Oh, I just smiled. Yeah, you're right. Just cut my hair and put some parts in it and some designs, all right?
Hey, what was it, Thursday night? We lined them up, me and Derek Golden.
Yeah.
Boy, 36W. Boy, we used to get it. Yes, sir. Is that dorm still over there? Is it still over there?
It was a volleyball sand volleyball court. Mm-hmm. And now it's they built over that, so it's no longer there.
God.
The ghost of building 36.
Hey, Lamar, let me ask a question.
What's up?
Hey, hey man, I shout out, but I just want to get your take on you and Wesley, and Gary can speak into this if he wanted to about what we're seeing with our team now, man. They beat two teams, 17 and 18. Nationally ranked teams. So how you guys feeling about the team right now and the direction that they head?
I think the ACC right now is all evenly matched average teams, Dale. And they take turns beating each other, and they're one-play games most of the time.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the story on letting all this talent get out of the state, out of the city? We're the last one to the table.
Not a good enough job recruiting. Not a good enough job.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have the talent.
Lamar, you stay quiet. We can talk. You just stay quiet. I got you. Boy, I see you. We'll do it. You just stay quiet. No, for Manny, man, I still think Manny can do a good job. You know what I mean? Early on, we'd all talk about, we couldn't understand what was going on. I couldn't follow what they were trying to do. These last 2 weeks, they've definitely looked a whole lot better. And I like this little kid, man. This Van Dyke kid has come in under, under a tough, under tough circumstances, and I think our future looks pretty good if we can if we can continue to, like Wesley's talking about, recruit well in our area, and not let these kids get out of the state of Florida. But man, these kids today, they going to teams like we were back in the '80s. And guys, that teams that they knew they were going to get a shot. You were playing top ranked teams throughout the year. It's a winning program. And I just think I think it's a tough deal with these with like you said, poor recruiting. But these kids got so many other choices right now, and they look at the University of Miami when we lose games that we should win, and that makes it that makes the coaching staff job really, really difficult to get those kids to commit, which is why I think we could play a vital role in talking about the tradition and what's been built there, and what they see right now is not the end result. I mean, Miami's going to be back on the top. Get that.
Yeah, we got to get to that position where we reload and not rebuild, because it seems like we're always like trying to find something to put together to get a winning season, and we need to have stuff stacked so that we can give it to the young guys, and the young guys can give it to the younger guys, and we don't lose a step. We just keep it moving forward. And I know it's hard. I'm not in that situation. I know it's difficult, but as far as the mentality from the, I guess, the older guys or whatever, I heard that saying and I really understood it. When I came in, we don't rebuild, we just reload. Yeah. That is so true.
Where they're really struggling, guys, is recruiting at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. That's what's really the biggest issue. They can get athletes in South Florida, and there's plenty of them to go around. Where they've really been struggling for a long time is at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we struggled linebackers at some point, but looked like our linebackers are a little bit better, this year. But
hey, I just want to say, you two knuckleheads, that I got caught up in listening to you, and I swear I was back in Coach Bratt meeting where I couldn't say nothing. And I said, man, this is my show.
Yeah, right.
This is Lamar Thomas show. I run shit now.
They showed up with a movie set behind them. I mean, look at that.
That's how we did it in Miami. We gotta keep it alive. Like Wesley said, we gotta stay relevant. I just wish I just for our fans out there, man. For our fans out there, we appreciate y'all being so patient with us. Keep coming, keep showing up. We are the you. We are the you. We are the you. What we're seeing right now, man, is our difficult days, but man, they will definitely get better.
So you coming to the game this weekend, Dale?
Yeah, I'm coming, Lamar. I'm gonna be there.
What? At some point we got to get Wesley to come to the game. We ain't seen him in so long.
Man, Wesley, come on, man. Show his face and disappear.
Come on, bro.
I drive past UM every day.
Yeah, but you ain't come to the game see your brothers, man.
No, it's just you know what? I have an issue. I went to I think the last game at the Orange Bowl, and the first time I went to the Orange Bowl, I came down there with Bobby Bird, and we had our recruiting visit, and we was playing Florida State, and UM just beat the mess. I think it's 31-0 or something like that.
31-3.
And I was so ready to get on the field. It was the electricity and the energy that was in that stadium, and everything was like on top of you. I was like ready to play, and I didn't know not one play. But then when I went there, and I seen the last game, and it just my heart was hurting, and it's kind of hard for me to see my little brothers get beat up sometimes, and I want them to do better. I want them to do well, but it's easier for me to watch it on TV. And if my brothers get beat up too bad or whatever, I want to jump in there. I can't.
You got to come to the games, dog. We need you to come to the game. We want, it's good to see all you guys, man. Especially, guys like yourself and Horace Copeland and Kevin Williams and, you know,
K-Dub.
Andre Brown, you know, all
Yeah.
these guys that played in that. You know who I saw the last game? Well, a couple games ago, I saw Doyle Aaron.
Yeah.
When?
Oh, I got a story for you. I
See?
seen Doyle Aaron. I was and I'm in Parks and Rec, right? So I'm going to my back door to go into my office or whatever, and I see this dude just working out. You know that the t-shirts, you know, shredded and all that stuff, and he running around. I was like, damn, that dude got a big head. That looked like Doyle. And guess who it was? It was Doyle out there working out. I was like, look at this. Boy, small world.
Hey, look, if Doyle doesn't join a fraternity, I probably don't make the team. I'm probably when he you know, he had to go through all that hazing and stuff, man. I took advantage of it, bro.
That was the only guy that didn't come to practice that got in the game and caught a pass.
And caught a pass. Yep.
Caught a pass.
But it ended up catching up with him because you know how we do, man. You got to be there the whole summer, bro.
Yeah.
You got to be there the whole summer. You can't. Nothing was bigger than that program. Whether it was your, you know, if something was happening with your family, other than that, but everything else, couldn't be no girl, couldn't be no fraternity, couldn't be nothing. You had to be there, and we saw guys that fell along the way, not from the coaches, but from the team, because they didn't put 100% in during the summer, and we kind of weeded them out.
Yeah, you know what? You hit on something. There's a lot of differences in teams today. The players ran that team. The players were the disciplinary guys. The players were the persons that were getting in each other's butts when they didn't do what they needed to do. When you didn't run the right play, if you didn't go out there and do the extra workouts out, you know, running routes and all that type of stuff. Dale used to come and get me out of my dorm room to go run routes. You know, I would do my own thing, but Dale, Randall, hey, let's go. We'd go out there and we'd be running routes and we'd be doing our thing, our conditioning and all that, and no coaches were around. It was all players looking out for each player. So if you did wrong, we got on you. If you did right, you know, we'll say you ain't did nothing yet.
Hey, and by the way, you guys talk about looking out for each other. I remember when Dale, you had was it 300 ZX. And I remember that. And I remember when you had Alexis, the big body Alexis. So for me, let me tell you what that did for me as a young guy. When I saw you guys make it, and I saw it was attainable. You let me. Hey man, I never smelled leather smell so good than being in both of y'all cars. And I said,
hey, Lamar, Wesley had the big Lexus. Lexus, I had the coupe.
Yeah, you had the coupe. Yes,
I had the coupe.
Yep.
Wesley drive around, one guy in the car like he a family man.
That big ass car. They had that big old tuna thing in the middle of it. I said, damn, what's that for? But to be honest with you, man, when I got a chance to, when you guys came back, and it was for me personally, it's like I just played with these guys, and they taught me everything they know, or some of what they know. I got a chance to do the same thing they do. It gave me hope. You know what I mean? And then the fact that you came back, you worked out with me, and I'm like, okay, what did you learn in the NFL? And I see you guys are telling me and showing me, and I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. So, you know, and
that's how we stayed ahead of the game. That's how we stayed up there. Everybody came back and gave back.
And
and y'all did give back too, because I remember going to the club and the bottles was on y'all. So yeah, y'all gave back. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Man, it's been great to have you guys on, man. I appreciate you guys calling in, and we gotta do this again. We gotta get all the bomb squad. We'll kick your ass off.
Man, when we playing golf, man? When we playing golf, Lamar? I'm coming down there, man. I'll be down there this weekend.
Okay, I don't see how y'all play that game. It's too slow for me.
Just go ahead and do your kung fu.
I need some aggression.
Yeah, you need to go and do your kung fu, what you were doing in college, all that stretching and shit you were doing. Over there.
Boy, I tell you.
Man, we appreciate having y'all on. And Dale, we'll get together on that golf tip. We'll get out there. All right, and hey, make sure you tell Randy Bethel we said what's up, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. And
I will
Wesley,
do it.
we need to see you at some point, bro.
Yeah.
All right, y'all gonna get me out there. Y'all get me out there. Thanks for having me, man. I
Hey,
had a
man, look,
blast.
yeah, much
I had a
love.
Great
blast.
seeing you guys.
Love
Yeah.
you guys,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Bomb squad. Bomb squad.
Yes, sir. Let's go get
All
it.
right, man. All right.
Stay strong, Kane Nation. We
Yes,
love you
sir.
guys.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Good night.
Oh, there we go. LT, he put a movie set together, Dale.
Yeah, Dale
Did you see
does
that?
big time. Dale's always been like that.
He had a light show going on in the background. He had
always been
flames.
Yeah, he's always been a little, but you know, that's Bomb Squad. He
Wow.
gave me my Bomb Squad tower.
I mean, I was speechless for that whole segment. Wow.
Those guys, man. And the fact that we were all in the huddle together. I wish if I had it all do over again, I would have had him, Randall, and Wesley on at the same time, because those were the guys. I was in the huddle. I was the fourth guy to come in that huddle. And I learned a lot from all three of them. They were older. Well, Dale was a senior. Randall and Wesley were juniors. And then I started in between those guys, Randall and Wesley. They were seniors and I was a sophomore. So it was surreal to an extent, because I always said, man, I can't believe I'm playing with these guys. I can't believe I'm out here lining up with these guys. They're so good. And so, you know, I just tried to soak everything up, what they did. I watched them all the time. And I know they thought I was weird to an extent because I asked a lot of questions. I asked those guys a lot of questions, man. Like, hey, how do you do that? Hey, what do I need to do? Hey, and, you know, they all were, they could have been like, shut up, young guy. No, they all were, they helped me. Mm-hmm. They saw something in me that I didn't even see it myself. I looked at them as the, you know, from the Andre Browns on down, I looked at those guys and I said, man, these guys are so great. But they saw something in me, and they were all team players to an extent. They all wanted all of us to be good. And that's why when I coach receivers, I try to come up with a name for the group, because it does something for the whole group. You know, like Bomb Squad was our deal. And then Ruthless Posse was the name when I was a senior. But it was, you don't want it to be where one guy gets all the shine. You want it to be a group thing. And that's what it always was. It was always a group thing. And I appreciate all the teachings they gave me, good and bad.
All right, I still got a few things I got to throw at you, but I think we got to take a minute and tell everybody about Ryan Collins's advanced insurance and financial.
Hold on, let me find my deal now. Hold on, I got a whole deal to read from my guy. You guys put that big old thing up there.
There it is, man.
There it is. Now I got to find my deal. Hold on a second. Let's see. You threw that at me, Gary. You weren't supposed to throw it at me like that.
Lamar, it's 20 after 10. I mean, people aren't staying up till midnight watching this show. I had to throw it at you.
Yeah, you did, though. You did. Let me find my deal, man. I mean, God, dang, you threw it at me, but I was not prepared. I gotta be honest with you. I was not prepared for you throwing it at me. Let me find my deal.
While you're looking for that, I'll also throw in the fact that you're at Boat Campers and Plantation tonight, as you've been for the last couple weeks, and you know, that's obviously a great spot.
Yeah, it's a great spot. Actually, they're closing down a little bit, but it was popping tonight. It was just like it was last Wednesday. It's always popping, and this one is up at Pine Island. So they got about 15 locations. Go get some of those signature wings, man. They are to die for. But let's get to advanced insurance. Are you protected from the unexpected loss to your home due to Mother Nature, like a hurricane, or to your auto due to human nature, like a car accident? Well, let Advanced Insurance and Financial Agency help you determine how much of what type of coverage is right for you. Give them a call today at 954-436-4027 or visit the website at advancedagent.net for your free personal insurance review so you can ease your worry and relax your mind. How about that? That's from my dog, Ryan Collins. That's his insurance company. Call him up if you have any issues. Again, I'll give you that number again. Let me pull it back up. It is 954-436-4027. Advanced Insurance.
We'll have to get that number also in the streamer at the
Yeah,
bottom of the screen
we'll
for
put it in there.
next
For
week.
next week. All right.
Yeah, in case anybody wants to give Ryan a call and take care of their insurance needs. All right, Lamar. Can they win 6 in a row? They've won 2 in a row. They've gotten back to 4-4.
Right.
Can they win 6 in a row? They're going to be favored the next 4 games.
6. I mean, they actually can win 7. I mean, it's just you got to ride this wave. They got to ride this wave. I mean, they have confidence. It seems sky high right now. You just beat 2 ranked teams, 1 at home. Most impressively, though, you beat a team at home. Now, obviously, Pitt lost to Western Michigan at home too, but you still beat a top-ranked team, a top 20 team at home with, I would say, probably the first or second or maybe third quarterback taken in the NFL draft. This Pickett kid is unbelievable. And they were able to bend but don't break on defense. They made some plays when they had to. They got lucky, but they got the win. And, with the schedule the way it is, you got to continue to it's let me tell you something. It's hard playing teams that you're supposed to win. You're supposed to be, especially when you're looking ahead. But for them, they're only looking ahead to 4 sucky teams. It's like playing Long Beach State. Let's see who else. Long Beach State, Tulsa.
Come on. No.
Yeah, Long Beach State, Tulsa. Let's see who else up right there. Cincinnati.
Virginia Tech is a capable team. Florida State's been playing better football.
You can't give them that much respect. We're giving them respect because they played us. But
Georgia Tech can put a game together sometimes. They put a great game together earlier this year against North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. They did. That was early this year. But we're riding the wave right now. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to stay kind of neutral on this thing. But man, it feels good to win 2 games in a row. Feels real good. You throw out Central Connecticut Tech Community College, throw that out the way. But the other ones, I mean, that Alabama game was a tough one, dog. That probably was one of the worst things you could start your season off against one of the top teams in the country.
It's because they weren't competitive. If they had been competitive, nobody expected them to win. No. All they had to do was go out there and compete, and they would have owned the world. It was a shame. I hope they don't stop scheduling those games, though, Lamar, because if Miami ever stops playing the Alabamas of the world, the LSUs of the world, the Floridas of the world, Texas A&M next year, it's over, man. It's like you're already relatively irrelevant in the ACC right now. You can't take yourself totally off the national stage. You got to line up and play people sometime, and you got to be able to compete with them.
Hey, just like Dennis Lopez said, Michigan State was not a joke. I mean, you got Michigan State and Alabama, 2 of the teams that are considered right now in the top 5. You lost to those 2 teams. Granted, you lost to UNC. Granted, you lost to Virginia, but you beat 2 other teams in Pitt and North Carolina State. So this has been an up and down roller coaster year. And if this guy is able to pull this out, it's going to be interesting to see how our fans react to it. Especially you got Georgia Tech coming up. You got who's the last home game?
Well, you've got Georgia Tech, then you're at Florida State, then you got Virginia Tech at home, and then you're at Duke.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You got Virginia Tech at home. If we can go on a run and we can beat Florida State, hopefully the fans come out to support these kids because regardless of what you think about Manny Diaz or what you think about Blake James, still those kids, man, and they deserve better. They deserve for our fans to come out and watch them and celebrate and have fun and try to cheer these kids on because it's been a tough year. You know, we lost a lot of players. We lost a lot of good players. O-line hasn't played up to their potential. You lose your quarterback. You lose, you know, it's been a tough year. This has been we were at, what, 3 weeks ago, everybody was saying, get rid of Manny right now. Get rid of him. And I said, oh, wait. Hold on, man. Don't let him finish it out. Let's see where it goes because I thought that there was a chance that he could win some games. And, it was up to the team to mature. It was up for him and his coaching staff to get these kids to mature. And, you lose Derek King, the guy that your whole season is built around. He's the face of the program. You lose the face of the program and you got to recover. Offensive play caller, he doesn't know what plays to call because he hasn't had to call plays for these guys. He was calling plays for Derek King. What was his strength? So it's I love reading the comments. Manny has proven for 3 years he can't lead. He was able to lead them over these last 2 games. So let's see where it continues to go. I mean, that's
really more than that, Lamar. I wrote after the North Carolina game that now was not the time to pass judgment on Manny.
Yeah.
And I got absolutely crucified on our website for having that opinion. But what I saw was that Manny was leading them and that they were responding and they were playing as hard as can be against North Carolina. And yeah, that pass got batted and they lost the game. Yeah. But you could kind of see a little something happen in Lamar. And then the last 2 weeks it has, and they've been able to win those close games. Now, like Ty Hubbard says, getting from 2 straight to 6 or 7 straight is probably not quite as easy as people think it might be when they look at the schedule, because you're talking about a team that lost 6 straight Power 5 games, and now you want them to go win 7 straight Power 5 games. It doesn't usually happen like that, Lamar.
It'll be a great feat. I'll tell you that. And, again, we go back to that quarterback question. If this kid is able to lead this University of Miami football team to those wins, 3 out of 4 or maybe 4 out of 4, I mean, he saved your job. I wouldn't say saved your job because, again, we're not in the Board of Trustees meeting. We have no decisions. I mean, we can't make decisions. We're not the AD. But it helps the program if he's able to do that. And it puts it in a different light. So I'm eager to see what happens, But obviously, it starts with this Georgia Tech game, which you got to win. You got to win.
No doubt.
Because we come back in here after Georgia Tech lost, and all that's out the window.
No doubt. Hey, Lamar, what about the fans? We do a show on Tuesday nights, as you know, CaneSport Live, and it's a 3-hour call-in show, and fan after fan after fan, gets to say their piece. And we're going through the whole show last night, and there's just no positivity at all. They don't care about the 2 wins. They want Manny gone. They want Blake gone. They want a fresh start. Most of them want Mario. And that's all they see right now. They're not all that worried about, beating the NC State and beating Pitt the last 2 weeks. I made a call out. I said, hey, would somebody, call in and tell us what would it take to get the taste out of your mouth, that sour taste out of your mouth? And a guy named Sebastian called in and said that he had a bad taste in his mouth, but I asked him what would it take, and he took the bait. And I'm not going to play it now because it's late, but he flat said that, well, if they win these next 4 games and they get to the ACC championship game, maybe they win that. And if they win that, maybe they're in the Orange Bowl, and maybe they win that. And then Manny's up there on the stage, and Blake will come out of hiding, and Blake will be saying, I told you so. And Manny will be up there smoking cigars, and it'll be like none of this ever happened before. And it
could happen. It could happen, Gary. I mean, it literally could happen that way, and we might see Blake again. I mean, I mean, if Manny's able to win these 4 games, I think Blake will come out of hiding, and he will, in a way, I think he will be shooting middle fingers at all the fans in some way, professionally, of course.
But I'll be there protecting the fans,
Yeah.
Lamar, because I know, and I know you know what this program could be, and I'll even use the word what it should be, and they need to reach higher than this. And this is fun and a lot of drama, and you lose 2 close games one week, then you win a couple, and you got all this different drama going on. Blake James stepping out, talking to the media the Friday before the NC State game, and Manny saying, basically, take that where it belongs, and winning the game. And I mean, it's very entertaining, Lamar. I mean, for us covering it, it's good content, and people are enjoying it and all that. But there's a bottom line to all this to me, and I think what the University of Miami is going to have to decide is what do they want to be. And they need to express that to these fans. And I know what the fans want, and I think it can happen. And I admire what Manny's doing here. I don't know that he's proven that he can go up to that Kirby Smart, Nick Saban type of level in recruiting and in year after year performance on the field, and that's what they're going to have to decide. And now's not the time to do it. That's what I would say.
Well, Gary, in all actuality, we're seeing a coach grow up in front of our eyes. I mean, let's be real. He had no head coaching experience. So you're asking him to go up against Kirby Smart and the Nick Sabans. And, yeah, he was a defensive coordinator. And
it's not reality. Right.
It's not reality. I mean, he was okay, but somebody made this decision. And you know what? Here's the deal. The decision was made, and right now we got to live with it for the next 4 games, and let's just see where it plays out. Now,
see where it plays out.
Come to here, and Georgia Tech is lost, and who knows? Everybody changes tunes, but as of right now, I got a good feeling, Gary. I got a good feeling because we won 2 games against 2 ranked opponents, which we ain't done in a minute. We've been getting our butts handed to us against inferior competition. So I'm riding the winning wave right now. Hopefully it continues to stay up there.
You mentioned the rank thing, and obviously you were hearing that a lot. When you watched those 2 games, did you walk away from those 2 games with a distinct feeling that those 2 teams are better or more talented than Miami?
Let's see. That's a good question, Gary. I
didn't.
I walked away with it saying, shit, I'm just, they were ranked. Everybody said they ranked them.
Yeah, ranked me. But I didn't walk away thinking they were better.
But, Gary, you remember when we were ranked real high when we had when Mark was the head coach.
10-0.
And people, we were supposedly ranked high. I'm sure those other teams had the same feeling that these guys aren't that good.
Right.
But they were ranked high. So it is what it is. I'm just happy for a win because we needed it.
Would Manny Diaz trade rosters with Pitt or North Carolina State?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think he would trade maybe some linemen, but other than that, I mean, skill-wise,
maybe a couple linemen.
Yeah, maybe a couple linemen, but skill-wise, I think this is a different environment. Takes a lot of something to be able to play down at the University of Miami in that environment, and a lot of kids just don't have it, and that's why they go to the pits. That's why they go to other schools, because it takes a lot to play down there. It's hard. It's really hard.
All right, Lamar, before they close the kitchen there and kick you out the front door, let's do a little word association. Let's start with Jeff Collins.
Oh, man, Jeff Collins, head coach. I mean, he came down here a couple years ago and beat us. They didn't have a win. I think that was their first win. Was it maybe his first ACC win?
I think it was.
That was embarrassing. I had a sick feeling walking out of that stadium. So we owe the guy. He's always been a good, really, really good Florida recruiter. I think I met him years ago when I was coaching at Boynton Beach. He's a really good guy. Sat down and talked. So I could see why the players would want to play for him. I think he was coaching at maybe UCF or maybe Florida at the time. I can't remember where he was coaching, but he's always been a really good recruiter, a good guy, and he'll have those guys ready to play. And those kids will follow his fiery. He has a passion for the game, so it's going to be very interesting to see what Georgia Tech comes down here. A couple years ago, they came down here with no wins and they were able to beat us. So I don't. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
It's a similar circumstance.
Yeah, it was very embarrassing. Yeah, but I mean, they had no wins. That was terrible.
But they're a better team today
now,
than they were then.
Because they were making the transition from the option. Remember?
Yep.
When we think of Georgia Tech, us old heads, we think of the option. That was it. So they were in that transition phase of now he's trying to build his team, and it's entirely different. They're not running that option per se anymore. So it's no ball control.
But they can't sleep on Georgia Tech this weekend.
No,
that's going to be a desperate team that's coming down. Their lives are depending on this game. If they lose this game, it's over. They're not going to go to a bowl game, almost certainly. They're not beating Georgia. So they've got 3 wins right now. If they want to go to a bowl game and salvage anything of this season, they got to beat Miami on Saturday, and they're going to be plenty desperate. Which leads me to the next one, Lamar. Jeff Sims, the guy that'll be the quarterback for Georgia Tech.
This guy, they've had to take their lumps with him. I mean, he's 61% passing and over 1,200 yards. Quarterback in 11 TDs, but he has 6 picks. I mean, they've taken their lumps with this freshman. It's just like us, young quarterback, but they've had to take their lumps. I mean, but he does run the ball a little bit. He's had 380 yards running and 4 touchdowns. So they average about 417 on offense per game and 28 points a game. So they've had to go as this freshman goes, and hopefully we'll be able to do some different things in the secondary to confuse these Georgia Tech receivers and quarterback. I mean, he's a young quarterback, and he's thrown a couple picks. So it's going to be interesting to see how we play on defense. I saw earlier in the show a lot of people were asking the T-Rob questions about whether he stays. I hope he stays. I mean, him and DVD have done a great job with that secondary. You talk about Bubba Bolden having to shut it down. Was a good player that was having a subpar senior year, or I don't even know what year this is for him because everybody got a free year. And he made the decision to step away and get his shoulder fixed or whatever. I think that opened the doors for a lot of young kids to get their opportunity back there that they probably wouldn't have gotten if he doesn't make that decision or they don't make that decision. So I think the secondary has really stepped up over the last couple weeks, and they needed to. They needed to. Poor tackling, a lot of passes given up, but I think they've kind of homed it in now. And kudos to DVD and T-Rob.
Richard Hill says Sims running is a problem, and I agree with you, Richard. If you look at the deficiencies that Miami has on defense with the front seven, Sims can exploit that, and I think that because of that Saturday's games are going to turn into a little bit of a shootout. Lamar, Miami's offense is going to have to do what it's been doing. It's going to have to score
points, and Miami plays a lot of man sometimes, and with that being said, what you're supposed to be able to teach your quarterback to do, if he sees man, especially on a lot of crossing routes, he sees people crossing with him, run it. And we've seen in the past, and I hope it gets better. These guys get out of their rush lanes, especially contain lanes. So that could be a big problem, but hopefully we have that taken care of. But talking about Georgia Tech offense, they've had 8 touchdowns called back. So, that could have changed their season. They've had some penalties. They've had a lot of penalties this season. So, you're right. We got a wounded team coming in here who's desperate for a win. But I would hope that we're thinking the same thing. We're desperate for another win because we got to continue this thing and keep it going.
Yeah. All right, Tyler Van Dyke, Lamar.
doing well. I like him. I like what I see. He's done a great job so far with 12 touchdowns, over 1,500 yards almost. Couple, four interceptions. Only throwing four interceptions. He's done a great job. He's gotten better, I think, every week. I love the fact that he was honest about how fast the game was moving. I guarantee the game is slowing down. And he sounds like, in my opinion, it sounds like he is taking every bit of coaching from anyone in that building, outside that building, to make him a better ball player. And I like hearing that.
All right, and lastly, take us home with Manny Diaz.
Oh, Manny. All right, Manny. Here we go. Hey, I had to come back to the same place. So we don't won 2 games in a row, man. Come on, Manny. 12:30. That's early. I get there about 9, get my tailgate on, eat some free food.
At the crowded tailgate.
At the crowded tailgate where they got 50 States vodka and all of that stuff.
It's over the other shoulder, Lamar.
It's
over there, yeah.
And all around, just the whole stadium, man. I mean, keep it going, dog. I mean, I haven't come to the little walk-in thing yet. That's not my deal. You keep doing that. You keep getting these guys excited. Convince them that, hey, this is a big game and we got to win it. Let's start off the same way we started last week, and let's get a win, because this is a big game. It's homecoming. I don't even know what that means, but it's homecoming.
It means they're burning a boat on Lake Osceola.
They're burning the boat, and they're not even having a parade no more. So, and I don't get to be the grand marshal. So, come on, man, let's go, man. I'm talking to you, dog. I'll call you. I'll send you a text before the game. Let's go, and you'll send me, yes, and I respect you or whatever you're saying. But hey, let's go. Come on, man. We got this.
All right, LT, another epic show. I forgot to bring popcorn, man. That segment with Dale Dawkins and Wesley Carroll was one for the ages. Wow.
Really good guys, man. Really good guys. You know what? I think I need to try to see if I can get a tight end show. We got some great tight ends, some great D linemen. We have great positions. I need to just bring in a bunch of guys. Announcers, and we got to give a shout out to our guy, man. He's not feeling well, Bruce.
He'll be back. He's resting up for the weekend.
Well, I call him the average fan. I know I'm not supposed to say the average fan. He got a little upset about
that.
He's
the voice of the fan.
He's the voice of the fan. I call him the average fan. I'm not an average fan. My bad, Bruce. Hey, man, get better, bro. Get better. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we also got to thank the Eric King. What a phenomenal 30 minutes that was.
Stand-up kid.
If you missed it, as soon as the show's over, I'll be clipping it. We'll have it on CaneSport.com. We'll put it out on Twitter as well. There's a story about it already at CaneSport.com. Just you really feel for that guy. I mean, he had such high hopes for this year.
We all had high hopes.
Just had the whole damn thing pulled out from under him.
Hey, and for some of you fans out there, the guys that we see sending messages, tell a friend about the show, man. We enjoy doing this show, and we have fun, and we want to make this thing. We want to reach as many people as we can. So tell a friend, tell them I'm on here cracking jokes, and Gary's on here telling it like it is, and we got Bruce, the average fan, talking noise, and we have some great guests. So we have fun. We appreciate you guys, too.
Yeah, hit your subscribe and like buttons so that you always know what's going on with the show. And we really appreciate everybody watching it and making this one of the popular shows out there. And Lamar will be back next Wednesday night. We'll see where Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium takes us.
That's right.
And
hopefully we win so I can come back here.
You like that, Bo Campers and Plantation.
Hey, look, I'm superstitious, bro. Wherever we win, that's where I am, baby. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
All right, LT. Again, everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Go Canes.